I propose that we officially begin the class.
Thank you very much. So the class begins. Charles, were you in class the last time we met?
Yes, Doc. I was in class up to a point where I wasn't able to follow up because of network issues.
Yeah. So what did we discuss? This network issue, these excuses for us. Anyway, so what when you were on, what did you hear? What did we discuss? Yes, Charles, you've gone quiet. Or still your network issue.
So it's not about network.
It's about what? When you were in class, what did you hear? Anything at all that we discussed the last time we met?
So we spoke about implementation uh, processes. I remembered something about implementation processes last week, and we had a discussion about how to introduce new systems and the processes that they use. Then we talk about direct cutoff, parallel running, piloting, and um, about six of them. I only remember these three. And I remember giving an example of my company implementing a paperless process where they've started running the system on parallel basis for this week, and possibly they are cutting it off for the wireless system to take over next week. That's all I do remember at the moment. Hello, Doc.
Yes, is Isaac here? Thank you, Charles. Is Isaac here? Is Isaac here?
Hello, Doc.
Yes, Isaac. Were you in
Yes,
class last week?
yes, please.
So can you give us a brief of what we did last week?
Okay. Um. Okay. So last week we also looked at the software development cycle, where you stated we had six stages of development cycle, where the first stage is the planning cycle, where you plan out before you even start with what you want to do. And then the next stage is the analysis state. And then the third is the design of the software itself. And the fourth stage is the implementation. The fifth is the testing stage. And then the last stage is the maintenance. We also looked at the system design. And we also looked at the software development models. We also, under the software development models, we also looked at the waterfall model, and then the pros and cons of the waterfall model. And then under that also, we looked at the agile methodology, the steps in the agile methodology as well, the pros and cons of that as well. And then we also looked at the iterative adaptations. Okay, Doc, please, that's what I can remember.
So what did you write down? What did you put down? Have you submitted your assignment?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we can start what we did. Can continue from where we left off last week. Last week was our third meeting, right? Was it our third meeting? Can somebody respond, please, so that we know we are here? Was it
Yes,
our third
yes.
meeting? So that was
Yeah.
lecture 3.
Yes,
That was
Yes, Doc.
yes, Doc. That was our third meeting.
That
that
was
was so
the third meeting.
okay, so today we are going to the fourth meeting. So fourth meeting, if you have your course outline, what is on fourth? What's on the fourth meeting? What are you supposed to do today as a fourth meeting? From the course outline. Hello? Do you have your course outline? Can you open your course outline and tell us what we have for this week? Evans. Is Evans here?
Yes, Doc.
Okay, so do you have your course outline? I shared it on the chat board, so I'm sure you should have.
Okay, so for weekend 4, sorry, it's information security, privacy, and e-government systems.
Information security, privacy,
And e-government systems.
e-government systems. Okay, thank you very much. Remember, we are doing MIS in public organizations. We said that the course was to explore the role of MIS in public organization and focusing on some system support for decision-making, improvement of efficiency. We started this course with introduction to MIS in public administration. We looked at the concept of MIS, components of MIS, and some characteristics of public sector organizations. And then we now dovetailed into the MIS in public organization performance, the role of MIS in taking decisions. In week 2, we looked at information system design. So And looking at the Bloom's taxonomy, we have to understand what we are doing. Then we are moving critically towards appreciating, analyzing, and evaluating. Now, information system design and development, before you can use the information system, it has to be designed. And that was what we did in lecture 2, which included the system development life cycle, requirements analysis, and system design methodologies. We also looked at feasibility studies, user-centered system development, and some challenges when it comes to system development, especially in public organizations. Last week, after the development, you now go to how to implement it. So we looked at implementation of MIS, which included data management systems, strategies, change management. We discussed at length how implementing new systems bring about resistance, a lot of resistance from people who are supposed to implement or use the system, because they are used to a certain way of doing things. And IS implementation is not just in Ghana. Everywhere across the world, we agree that, or we discussed that about 60 to 70% of IS implementation across the world will fail. So if that is the research finding, then if you come to Ghana, most will fail. NI started long ago. I think President Wk4 started it, or President Professor Mills continued it. We went through until I think the last government that was able to implement it. So anytime you are implementing information systems, you have a lot of issues. There are a lot of issues about database system, data quality and integrity, and sometimes what we call the legacy system. And all these portend and bring problems. So now that we have, supposedly we have now implemented it. So first week was to understand the basis of it, what MIS is. We now went towards to develop it. Last week we implemented it. Today, after the implementation, one of the critical things that come with IS implementation is security. Because, yes, in spite of all the good things, and we discussed that in our first lecture, in spite of the efficiency, the effectiveness, the innovation that MIS come with, it also has security implications, a lot of security implications. So those who are not ready to use MIS will cite security as the core reason why they would not want to use IS. So today we are going to look at how to prevent what security, information security are, how to discuss privacy and e-government system. So our course outline today, from the course outline, week 4 will be information security, privacy, and e-government systems, which will be looking at information security principles. So what is information security? We're going to look at cyber security as a threat to public institutions. So data privacy and protection, legal and ethical issues when it comes to management information systems in public administration, and some e-government concepts that also has security implications. And then the digital public service delivery system, which also can be exposed to cybersecurity issues. We'll discuss some case studies across the world and in Ghana on cybersecurity incidents. So you should also be looking at case studies where security incident that happened to e-government system. So you should be ready for it. So I'm going to share the slides for today in a moment. Please be here with your full name. If you don't come with your full name, we don't see that you are in class. And if you are not in class, then you know that you're going to miss out on the issue of coursework, class attendance. Okay, so this is it. All right, so this is MSc Economics with Informatics, and we are looking at information security, privacy, and e-government. Okay, so by way of review, this lecture is going to have information security, privacy, and e-government. These are very central to central concerns in modern organizations and government. Because public institutions are digitizing operations because of the emerging economy, emerging technology. We can't be relying on paper-based and manual process. So many government institutions across the world are digitizing. They are digitizing, sending or using digital processes and platforms instead of paper-based. So because they are doing that, they have also become vulnerable to cyber attacks. If it was a paper-based, then I have my paper with me. Nobody can come and take it. If you come, it means I have to break my door or take it from me. But if it's cyber, if it's a digital process, it will be going through the internet, and people can have access to it if they are able to attack. So there are data breaches, there are privacy issues, there are ethical challenges that come about as a result of using MIS. So government worldwide are leveraging on digital technologies, and because that can help us provide better service delivery. It can also help for transparency, accountability, and it is easier when you are using the digital platform MIS to engage with your citizen or with the citizens of the country. Therefore, this lecture is to examine some of the principles of information security and cyber threats that public institutions are facing, privacy, data protection issues. In Ghana, we have the data protection law. So we'll go into details and look at the data protection law. I'll be sharing that data protection act with us, legal and ethical consideration when it comes to MIS, and concept and implementation of MIS e-government systems. We're going to analyze some real-world cybersecurity incidents and the ones that have been successful. If they are successful, they can really help organizations to achieve many objectives. Digital government initiatives are designed with security in mind. They are designed with privacy, trust, and citizen-centricity in mind, so that they can achieve sustainable public value and improve governance outcomes. So with this background, our outline will be with the introduction of information security. We have to understand what is information security. We know what security will be. What is information security? What are the principles of information security? And then that will take us to cybersecurity threats in public institutions, and that will include data privacy and protection. There are ethical and legal issues when it comes to MIS in public administrations. It's everywhere, but especially more so our interest is in public institutions. And then e-government concept and model. Why are they why the potential to be concerned with public institution security? And then digital public services, and why or how is security issues of concern. Then finally, we'll look at some case studies on cybersecurity and e-government in Ghana and across the world. And by way of objectives, at the end of this lecture, we expect that we should be able to explain the fundamental principles of information security. We should be able to analyze some major cybersecurity threats that public institutions are facing, and evaluate the privacy and data protection issues in terms of information systems, and examine the legal and ethical concerns of MIS implementation, the concept and evolution of e-government, assess the digital public service delivery system, and critically evaluate cybersecurity incidents that government institution will face. At the end of it, we should also be able to recommend strategies wherever we are. How can we advise government to enhance privacy to enhance government initiatives in terms of the work of MIS. Very important aspect that no government across the world these days can do without. In fact, no institution can do without MIS. MIS has become like the blood of institutions. All right, thank you very much for being here. But please, our time is 2 o'clock. So we start at 2 o'clock. If we think 2 o'clock is not tenable, it's not possible, we can always and ask for another time so that I cannot change the time. I'm not expected to change the time. Okay. Okay. All right. So by way of introduction, we know what security is, and this class has always been very interactive. We have to be part of the conversation. So what is security? In general, what is security? What is security? Deborah, are you here? Is Deborah here? Is Deborah here? Am I being heard?
Yes, Doc.
No, yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
Doc.
Okay, let's hear. Deborah, let's hear you. What is security? And you can always go on your online and get it.
Okay.
Yeah, Deborah, yeah, security.
With something harmful.
Come again?
Security deals with protection from something harmful.
Okay, so protection from something harmful. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Protection from something harmful. That is very short and crisp. Any other? Any other? And this is coming from, you didn't give us a reference. You didn't give us a reference. Evans, your mic is on. You want to say something? Okay. Yeah, Mustafa, I see your mic on.
Oh, sorry, sir.
You want to tell us about security?
Sorry, it was inadvertently on.
Okay. Security. Anybody else? Abraham, can you tell us about security? Okay, now we know security, protection from something harmful. Harmful connotes being hurt. Well, maybe physically being hurt, but you can also have security that you are not physically hurt, but you can lose something. You can lose your valuable, your assets. So security is not just being harmful, but also when you are also losing an asset, or you are not able to do what you expect to do. That can also be a security issue. Okay. All right. So now we look at information security. Information security will be the protection of information assets. So you have to know what information assets. And this information assets, when you are denied access to your own information, when somebody discloses your information without your tacit consent, and when somebody alters your information without your consent and also destroy your information or disrupt your information. So these 5 concepts, any of these, either one or two or all of them being affected, can be termed as a threat to your information security. And to use your information, it is your information. Therefore, you have to decide on who you want to give your information to. If you haven't given your information to somebody and the person has access to that information, then it is a security threat. It can constitute an information security worry. If somebody discloses your information, or if you even inadvertently disclose information to somebody that is not supposed to have that information, that can also be termed as a security threat. information security threats. So we need to know what information assets are. And the primary goal, the most important thing is that information security should help us to defend whilst ensuring that your business or your operations run smoothly. You are dealing with people. The person and those you are dealing with would have to use information, because information is the lifeblood of organization. How does information move from one point to the other? Who is supposed to have the information and who is not supposed to have the information? Who can disclose the information? So all of these things are what will be termed as information security. And in modern organization, there are tools, there are processes, there are ways to prevent, detect, and to remediate attacks, or all those who will be using the information that you have not given or the organization has not given access to. So to have all of these sensitive information, both digital and non-digital. So for information security, that your material, the laptop or your computer or your phone, which is being used or can be used for any access without consent. So information security is concerned with documenting the processes. So how do you get the information? Even if you are sharing the information, the process through which you share the information must also be documented. So the procedure, there will be threats. You have to understand, so long as you are online, so long as you are using information system, you have to know the likely threats, just like you have your house. Otherwise, we will not be closing our doors. So you don't wait until somebody has entered your house before you lock it. You lock your gates, you wall your house, you do everything so that you can prevent physical entry. So systems that affect security information are many. They can be technology controls. So what technology will you be using to control your access to your information? Then there can be organizational policies as well. So organizations will have policies, and every organization that is using information system would have policies that will prevent unauthorized access, unauthorized distribution, unauthorized sharing of information or disruption of information, or anything that somebody can do to the information without the consent of the organization. There are also human behavior aspect as well. Some people do it not because they want to hurt. Of course, others will do it to hurt the organization, but people do it because they don't have much knowledge. They don't think that, oh, what is that? What about this? It is only my password. What is it? I mean, nobody's losing anything. So human behavior can also affect information assets. And then the legal framework, legal safeguards. If you forgo the legal issues, that can also affect it. And then there are risk management practices that can help information security. So information security has these five: technological controls, organizational policies, human behaviors, legal aspects of it, and then the risk management. All these are very important, making information security one of the critical, most important aspects when it comes to information system in public organizations. Because if you have cyber threats, and we all know cyber threats is very much invoked now, it is increasing because people can hide behind computers and do many nefarious activity. In fact, the black internet, the black side of the internet are more expensive than even the legal ones. So there must be strategies, the right strategies in place so that, and tools in place to be able to avert people taking advantage of public platforms. Any negligence, any ignorance, any human behavior that exposes public institutions to these cybersecurity will be very, very high in terms of financial loss and also reputational losses. So information security is to help us safeguard, prevent organizations' data. So the data, the system, the operations from ever getting cyber threats or cyber bullies having access to it. If we follow this, then businesses and the organization will be able to protect their confidentiality. So there are three cardinal issues when it comes to cybersecurity. You have to protect the confidentiality of the information. You have to protect the integrity of the data and information. And then the information must also be available. The data must be available. So once you are making the data available, who is getting it? Who is making it available? What processes are being used to make the data available? And that data moving from one point to the other. What is the integrity of the data? So we go into details and find out the integrity of the data and then confidentiality as well. These are very important aspects to prevent operational losses, operational disruptions, and maintain a seamless day-to-day functioning of the business. So we also have to meet compliance. And there's a law in Ghana now, the Data Protection Act of 2012. We'll look at it into details. So there are compliance issues, there are regulatory issues, there are legal obligations. The fact that I have given my information to you, that does not mean that you have a legal obligation to protect my data, to safeguard sensitive information that I give, and then maintain the trust of citizens, the trust of customers, and also brand reputation. Because if my data comes to you and you use it in a manner that it's not, I did not give you permission to, that can be cited for reputational damages. So we have to avoid exposure of sensitive information to people who are not supposed to do that. There are safeguarding intellectual property. In the universities and higher education, we discuss intellectual properties a lot. Everybody that is in the university or higher education knows about plagiarism. Plagiarism is picking somebody's information and passing it on as your own. These are intellectual property. Or you pick somebody's book or somebody's music or video or film and use it without paying the right prices and without giving the right recognition. That is intellectual property that must be maintained. So your profitability and your competitiveness would have to be part of it. And the IT, IS, MIS, and cybersecurity strategies are in alignment. You cannot have one and not the other. These must go together. And so long as you have decided that your organization will use information system, then that decision must go hand in hand with cybersecurity strategies so that the overall business goals can be achieved. There are several perspectives. We have organizational perspective of looking at the definition of information system. We have government perspective, governmental perspective. We have individual perspective. So let's pick it up from the organizational perspective. When we take an organization, every organization has sensitive information, sensitive data that they want to protect, either for because if you hold some information, then in an environment that you are the only one that has that information, you can use it. If intellectual property like Coca-Cola has their own how do you term it? They have their own formula. They don't want to give it to anybody. So for hundreds of years, they've held on to that. If that information gets out there, it may take away their competitiveness. They cannot leverage on it. So we are protecting sensitive information, and government have many sensitive information, security issues, policy issues, a lot of issues for government, which are very sensitive and should not go into the hands of others. We also need to preserve the organization's reputation. If organization is holding your information, and by ignorance, by commission or omission, that information gets into somewhere else, and you find out, the next time you don't want to give your information to that organization. Then there's also the need to consider or ensure business continuity. That information you have is sacrosanct. So if you keep that information, like example I give, and not just Coca-Cola, many organizations, many manufacturing organizations would have intellectual property that they do not want anybody to have. So if they keep it, then they can have business continuity. It also important to support compliance. So there are compliance requirements, there are laws. In Ghana, we just passed the law. There are laws in other countries. We have the HIPPA, we have the GDR. All of these organizations have reason why they are keeping it. There are compliance issues, and it also reduces operational risk because you have your information and nobody has access to it. When it comes to government, government also has a way to protect the citizens' records. So citizens have given you records, whether at the passport office, at the DVLA, or at the National Health Insurance, National Identification Authority. Citizens have given you their records to keep. So you don't give the records to anybody. Then there are tax issues as well. Government is collecting taxes every time. So because of that, they need that data for tax purposes. And that must also be protected. Then there are national identity systems like the NIA and NHI and all of that. When it comes to elections, government will need to take information from citizens. And that information must also have security. If the electoral system, the data is not sacrosanct, that can also create many upheaval in countries. In Africa, electoral system and vote rigging and all of this put the whole country into chaos. Some countries are fighting among themselves because of electoral malpractices as a result of data that is not trusted, And then there are national security infrastructure, national security issues as well. So failure to adhere to secured system can undermine public trust and also disrupt essential services. So because of this, governments must make sure that their information security is really kept beyond par. All right. So I have this table that has certain concepts and how it depends on information security or the information security implication. Digital transformation has come to stay, and it is going to continue to enhance operations in both private and public organizations. Many organizations are looking at digital transformation, digitalization. So apart from digitization, where paper-based and manual processes are transformed into digital platform or electronic platform, there's digital transformation, which is digitalization, where organizations, including government organizations, are depending on digital technology for their operations, for their communication, for their decision making, and for their service delivery. So we have moved away from just digitizing our procedures, turning paper and manual processes into digital or electronic platform. And even the operations, our communication, our decision making, the very service that we are rendering would also have to depend on it. But once we are doing that, then we are expanding our attack surface. Because if it was on paper base, you need to get hold of the paper. But if it is a digital base, you can give, even sending it to you alone can go to it, many other people who are not supposed to get it. So there's a need to have robust cybersecurity measures. You have to get risk management and also continuously monitor your operations and your communications whilst you are within the digital transformation space. And also because of cloud computing. Because of cloud computing, either through there was always an office boy in the departments and agencies and municipal offices who will be sending letters from one office to the other, from one department to the other, from one ministry to the other, right? So that one, it is a physical document. Maybe you have put it in an envelope and you've clipped it, you've sealed it. So unless if the person can have access, he has to open the envelope. And the envelope is said that if it is destroyed, sometimes you have envelopes that have the ministry's embossment on it. Maybe the person would seal it and stamp it. So the messenger taking it cannot do anything about it. He has to take it as it is. But that was also very inefficient. So cloud computing is here. We are increasingly storing our data in digital platforms and processes. We are managing on remote cloud-based platform rather than on premise. So we don't even have the information on the premises. What we are doing, we are using a cloud system. So we are using Zoom. Zoom is not in the university. Zoom is somewhere in China or in America. So whatever we are doing now, we have to go to Zoom before coming to us. So this is raising concerns that concerns about data confidentiality. Whatever we are doing here, it is not between the two of us. Everybody that's on this platform can also take the information out. And even the person that is holding that information, of course, because they are large organizations, they don't need these small things from us, and they also have regulatory and legal issues to contend with. So data confidentiality coming as the result of cloud computing, regulatory compliance, third-party risk, and cloud security governance are all concerns that have security implications. Big data analytics, large volumes of data is being churned out. Unstructured data and structured data are being collected every day. They are being processed, they are being analyzed, and this is to support decision making. Ordinarily, this is the best time of our life, but this is also creating an increased risk on data breaches, privacy violation, and unauthorized access to the information, and also misinformation of sensitive data. So though big data has all the positives, helping us to make informed decision, data-driven decision, it is also exposing companies and government institutions to data breaches and privacy concerns. Artificial intelligence is here. Another aspect of information system that rely on extensive data sets to automate processes and generate insight to support intelligent decision making. But that also would create risk-related data privacy, algorithmic biases, and adversarial attacks. All these are helping to create security concerns and implications. So there are ethical issues in using artificial intelligence. We are working remotely. We're having a lecture now. When we were in the university, this was, you can't even think about it that you're going to have a lecture and you are not seeing your lecturer. You are not seeing your lecturer. You are not in the same lecture hall. We couldn't even comprehend. It wasn't a thought of. If you have a lecture, we have to be in the this thing. Just a So all these remote work is also exposing us to vulnerabilities. So that if the system is insecure, then we are going to have a lot of concerns to think about. So all these are raising concerns and exposing us. We are exposing ourselves to cyber security concerns, security implications. So if you have a network that is not secured, when we come to class and then I say that if you are here, come with your full name. So somebody is here with iPhone. It could be anybody. Because there's nobody in the class, there's nobody who has been given admission to join this class and the person's name is iPhone, but it is still here. Meanwhile, we've said this, we've given conditions of being in this class. There's somebody here still using iPhone, somebody here using only Matthew. All right. So it's like this is the fourth time we are meeting, and we've made this point over and over again. One, because of security concern. One, because we are doing remote work, we are doing remote discussion and lectures. So remote discussion is exposing us to vulnerabilities. So insecure network, device theft, phishing attacks, weak authentication, endpoint security challenges. Those are all part of this, the information security implications. When it comes to e-government, government worldwide are increasingly providing public services through online platforms. So these days, many government services that citizens would have access to are through online platforms. So it means that we need to have a stronger protection for citizens' data. We need to be able to secure our digital identities, have resilient platforms and infrastructure that can safeguard against cyber attacks and that target public services. All these are important issues that influences the information security. These are factors that influence information security, and we need to be abreast with them. So these trends have accelerated the digital innovation and organizational efficiency. So the 4 issues, digital transformation, the 5 or 6 issues, digital transformation, cloud computing, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, remote and e-government. They are all very important. It is pushing us to have digital innovation, which is good, which is being part of the information or knowledge economy. We can't be in this world at this time and decide that we are not going to use information system. So though they are good, they are also increasingly providing cybersecurity risk. So this is making information security, privacy protection, and risk management strategies a priority for both public and private organizations. And that is what many researchers, current extant research has come up with, that these cyber issues, digital transformation, acceleration of innovation, and for organizational efficiency are good. You can't do without it. It has come to stay. But at the same time, it is also increasing cyber security risk and making information security, privacy and management, all these strategic issues for both public and private organizations. All right, any question? Any addition, subtraction at this point? Yes, Joseph. Joseph, what's the name? Joseph Ken Nanti. Any questions?
No, please.
Okay, so no, please, very good. What have you been discussing so far?
Okay, so we are discussing about information security, and we are saying that information security is an important issue in a public service where we have to protect our data in terms of from being hacked by an intruders.
Okay. Anything else? We define information security as well. Yes, is it Kofi?
Yes,
Bismarck.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, Bismarck.
So, Doc, in one of your submissions, you made emphasize that the state institutions have to protect our data like the NIA and other stuff. But there's this thing that I don't know how these people get to contact
contact who?
Controller for our numbers. It's more like anytime automatically these loans people get their numbers and then start sending them series of text messages for loans. I don't know whether the data is from the controller or serving people with kind of messages and other stuff.
Yes, that happens. That happens to all of us. You'll be there, somebody will send you a text message, getting to the end of the month, you'll be receiving account for loan and all of this. You'll be wondering how the person got your number. Our data is stored in various systems, and that is one of the issues that I have a concern with. We have data all over the place, and we provided the data. You have data with NHIA, you have data with NIE, you have data with passport office, you have data with DVLE, we have given our data, the same data, duplicated our data across various platforms. All right. So it will be difficult to say that your data is coming from, even if it is the person is using or giving you that information. You will know unless you research and investigate to find out where that data is coming from. We can only hazard a guess. We can think that is it not controller and accountant general that is not holding our data well? They are supposed to. That is why we are doing MIS in public administration. That is why data protection and data security, information security is being taught, so that we are aware of why. And every organization, every government organization should know this. You cannot implement an MIS without thinking about the data, because they go hand in hand. If they go hand, if you as soon as you implement an MIS, you are inherently exposing yourself. So if you are exposing yourself, what would you do? You build a house, you have all the good things in your house, you have your children, your wife, your husband in the house, and then you don't lock the place in the night. Who would do that? So long as you have a house, you need a gate, you need a door, you need a key. So long as you have a key, you have a door, you need a key. All right. So if somebody enters the house, who are those who have access to the house? Those are the first people that you have to think about. So it's a concern, and that's why this course is of vital importance. Is the data that is coming? Is it coming from MTN? Is it coming from Airtel? Is it coming from any of the telcos? Is it coming from any of the government platforms? Where is it coming from? So we all have to do it. We all have to help get it done. All right. It is difficult for me to say, put a finger on it and say it is coming from controller. If my information is only with controller, then I can hold controller accountable. But it may not come. You and I know how many platforms we have. On top of my head.
This situation. After living in the country for 3, 5, 6 years unemployed, or mine not being on the government payroll, I've not been receiving text messages. But the very day I got validated on the government payroll, I started receiving these messages.
Okay,
how did they get to know that this time around Mahama have employed me?
Well, okay, so that's a good concern, and that is a good suspicion. But your suspicion are just there. That's the suspicion. Don't have any. You're only guessing, or you're only having an intelligent conversation. But that cannot be tenable. We can't take that to court and win. You need to make more analysis. You need to find evidence to prove that what you are saying is true. I understand, but academics, we are careful. We don't just jump onto conclusion without having evidence. So let's do the evidence, and then we can come out and say, I wasn't in the country, I wasn't employed. How did I become a target for these cyber fraudsters telling me that they are going to give me loans and all of that? So they tell you they are going to give you loan to provide your this, provide your that. As soon as you provide, you don't take time, provide your bank account. Then we are giving you loan, and it will be deducted from controller and accountant general. So they have your bank account, they have your staff number, so they can put one on together, and then bingo, your money can even be siphoned, or instead of being paid into your account, it will go to somebody else's account. So I agree with you. These are concerns. So let us understand this one. Then we are all careful how we manage our data. If we are in government organization, how do we manage the data? And if as individuals also, how do we manage our data? So information security, very, very critical aspects, especially in this dispensation of digitalization and digital transformation. Right?
Thank you, Doc.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we also have various developmental issues. There are both opportunities and risk. Security and privacy have become very critical. It has become a strategic concern in modern organizations. So these are human and demographic factors. There are organizational framework, there are technology and infrastructure, and of course there are external environment as well. So all these must be taken into consideration. So if you have information security, it is a very complicated, complex interplay of the human being, of the organizational framework, of the technological tools, of the external and internal environmental conditions. All these are issues that will make it difficult to pick one aspect and say this is one aspect. If it is human and demographic factors, we're looking at human behavior and human errors. So humans are accounting for vast majority of the security breaches that we are looking at. Some are ignorant, some are of carelessness, some are also deliberate to shortcuts and bypass security controls, and also for probably benefits. They are doing it because they want to get it. So when it comes to the human behavior are the first on the list. Then there are demographics as well, where individuals, the age of individuals, now many people, we call them the Gen Zs, you know, so they have age, educational level, cultural backgrounds. These are all influencing cybersecurity habits and risk perception. And of course, stress and moral disengagement as well, where employees are stressed and high stress environments, rationalization or neutralization, where they think they are not being paid well, or they think the person just came. We know you when you were campaigning for election, we saw you. And now right now, look at you as you are in V8. I'm still using my bicycle, or when I close, I'm going to the roadside to look for trotro and all of that. So they are disenchanted. All right, they are stressed, so they are burnout. So all of these can also contribute to intentional or unintentional policy violation. The company, the organization must have policies in terms of how to use information system, but are they using it well? Even electricity, some people close their offices and they don't turn off the electricity. They are not the one paying. They don't turn off their light, they don't turn off their AC. So the person leaves the office 5 o'clock on Friday morning. He's coming back 8 o'clock on Monday. And the AC is on all day, all night long. So look at how much money will be going down the drain. Nobody is benefiting from it. But sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's forgetfulness, sometimes they are mad, sometimes they are disenchanted, they are disengaged. So all of these can also expose or make vulnerable the cybersecurity issues. And there are organizational framework as well. Organizational framework where top management provides support and top management are proactive. In that case, security culture is detected, whether it's InfoSec, which is information security, they take it as priority and treat it as such. And that can create barrier also to productivity. There are also policy and accountability issues where clearly defined information system security policies are there. This is strictly enforced with appropriate sanctions. If you don't want to do it, then you may be sacked or you may be suspended. There may be several reasons why some of these things, if you have top management and accountability issues well defined. And there are certain organizations that regularly train. So regular training, engaging security awareness, like we do with the fire drills. You know, every organization should have a fire drill policy, but we hardly do it anyway. Sometimes even the fire extinguishers in the organization, there's nothing in there. You know, unless something is happening, they don't even, big organizations, government institutions, the fire extinguishers, the last time you heard about a fire drill in the ministry, I'm not sure when it was. So even where we have to gather when there's fire, we have used them for car parks. So when we are even doing fire drills, we are not able to do it. So training and awareness, regular engagement of security awareness training, very important to help mitigate the internal threats, and then also social engineering. Then there are technology and infrastructure as well. So there are technical safeguards, the quality of our technology, the updates, how frequently we update the system, we configure our firewalls. So firewalls, encryption, and access control, they all help in determining the vulnerability states of our organization. Just like fire drills and making sure that you have the the right exits when there's fire outbreak. Where should you pass? Which part of the fire extinguisher? The fire extinguishers are placed at vantage points so that when there's an issue, you can help. You train people how to use the fire extinguisher. Many people don't even know how to use the fire extinguisher in their own cars. So all of these are important because there's also complexity and usability. There must be security measures that are too cumbersome. All the things that we are doing, if you put the security measures that are too cumbersome, then it creates high effort expectancy. People think that they must bypass them because this thing, I'm using my password to be on my computer. This password is too complicated, it's too complex, or the processes I go through, so they'll just forget about it. And then the perceived usefulness of it. Users are far more likely to adopt or adhere to information security policies when they are directly or when they understand. So all of these, and you can't take one and leave the other. You must have a composite training and understanding and appreciation of all the security issues that are in your organization. And of course, there are the external environment. Those people you don't have control. Those in your environment you can't have. But if there are cyber threats from the external environment, these are sophisticated volume where they are learning how to bypass. So while we are learning cybersecurity, they are also learning how to bypass it. You know, like this, the armed robbers. They know the police will come. So they have also learned about the police tactics and all of that. So cyber attacks, malware, ransomware, all these are detecting the necessary security posture that an organization must have. And we need regulation. There are regulation compliance. In Ghana, we have the data protection law to adherence to statutory regulatory compliant data privacy standards. Internationally, the ISO, IDEC, and NEST, and all of these are organizations that help implement rigorous cyber information security measures. And of course, geopolitics and the economy as well. Geopolitics. Look at what is happening in Russia, and Ukraine, and Israel, and America. All of these things are not, they are also external events that are creating so much issues when it comes to cyber. So even the wars that are ongoing, it is not just the shooting the guns alone. People are also using espionage, cyber, geopolitics, economic issues, external events, and market competitiveness. All are making resources available that influence organization ability to be able to fund cybersecurity infrastructure. So Ghana, we are using it. But how much money is being put into cybersecurity training? So in our ministries, in our government sectors, how much money? Pick this year's budget and ask yourself how much has been earmarked, how much has been allocated to train people on cybersecurity issue alone. You may not find it. You may not see a figure there. So if you don't see a figure there, we don't have enough money to go around. Even the bread and butter issue, we are struggling. So somebody will think that but cybersecurity, to why should we spend so much money to it? What infrastructure are we putting in place? So all these organizations' ability to do it, especially government ability and willingness to do it, has an issue. All right. Any point, Charles? Is Charles here? Is Charles here? Charles, appear. Is Charles here? Is somebody hearing me?
Yes, Prof. We are here.
We are here. We can hear you.
Okay, Charles, let's hear you. Any comments? Any question?
Hello, Prof. Doc.
Yes.
I have one concern.
Okay, let's hear you.
So my concern is that as postgraduate students, our expectation is that after the course, we're able to apply apply whatever we have learned in this course. And so my concern is that right now we are having the theoretical and the framework of how MIS is being implemented in the public service.
Yes.
But apart from the theoretical framework and then the framework how do we get the feel? How do you mean done practical? Because we need to apply it after the school. So how are we going to have the practicality? I mean, how it is done? Well, this what we are doing is just the skeletal information and then theoretical.
Oh well, I don't know. Maybe we need to go to the school and ask again. The course contents given did not have practical. Look at us. So we are going to meet once. We are going to meet once. That is, I think, is it next week? We are meeting next week once. So practically, the practicality is not here. Probably we need to engage again, because you also, this is a crash program, a sandwich program that is to help us to do it. So we are meeting only once, physically only once. So if you want further discussion, and it is a 1-year course, right? This is a 1-year course. This is a second semester, right?
Yes, Prof. Yes.
So yes, it's a 1-year course. So if you want to come back and do an MPhil or a top up, then we will look into and the practical aspect of it. So practical is not part, unfortunately, it's not part of it. But if you want to have practical application of it, you can also either do it yourself or come and see me, and then we can discuss it. But as an institution, for this course, the course outlined the course concept did not so much include practical. Even meeting is only once. In fact, we have only 5 weeks. Something that should have been done in 3 months, we are doing it within 5 weeks. So you should know. All right. It's a crash program. So appreciate it. It's good that you are doing it. At least we have it. You have your certificate. And you can also have external courses. There are courses. There's ISO. There's ISO course online that you can do. There's ITIL courses. There are courses that you can do online. I also do some training though, but I mean, that is outside the school for people who want certification, practical certification on cybersecurity issues.
All right.
Right.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So now that we've
Hello,
looked at
Doc.
cyber, yes.
Doc, please,
Yes,
can I ask a question?
Nene, yes, go ahead.
Yes, please. With this, there was a government initiative, this 1 million coders. What's your take on that? Is that one of the ways to help cybersecurity?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's one of the ways, and I appreciate the government that initiative. It's really, really laudable, because these days, in fact, we can even take jobs from outside the country. Our youth are doing all manner of things. Look at the number of people spoiling our water bodies through Galamsey, because they don't have jobs. The jobs, government cannot also create jobs. Government is a service provider, and if a service provider, you can't have government provide creating jobs too much. You can't. If it's production, government policy, government work, government mandate, it's a service. So when it's a service, you are not producing anything. If you're not producing anything, you cannot employ many people. All right. So this 1 million coders, if it works well, I admire that policy so much. I don't know, because of my background. I think that we should have as many people as possible to go into coding. Because as soon as you introduce the person to coding, you have put the person into the cyber and digitalization platform. So he's there. He's doing coding. Tomorrow, one of them will go into developing product, developing platform, keeping the platform. Some will go into. So we need cyber. The police system, the military and the police. If you go back in time, there was no police. When the world was, when people were settling, it was more about soldiers, because mankind was fighting for territory. So it was soldiers. When mankind settled and became community, where man was just hunting, not settled, just moving, nomadic, moving from one point to the other. You got to a point, why are we going round? Why don't we do our farming so you now became a community? So community also has its challenges. So if community has its challenges, Our soldiers have now been put to the barracks, and it is only they only come out when there's a war for them to go and do. Do you understand? Then we bring the police people. The police people too, the concept is for physicality, where the person is doing physical harm to the society, stealing physical things. Now another concept has come. Now I'm not coming to steal your laptop. I'm not coming to break into your home and take your money, because the money cry is not in your house, it's in the bank. Now we are using cyber currency. All right. So the concept of policing itself, we are giving cyber security to the police to do it, but that is not their concept. So we need another layer. We need a new layer. We are in a new dispensation that need a new layer of intellect, of concept to develop. And that is where the coders are coming in. So if we train these people well, maybe their idea is not like coding, but the idea is that you are within the cyber space. So all these people, while they play within the cyber space, we can get them to become quote and unquote police people or cyber coders that we are trying to tell them. And everything and anything about cyber and digital transformation, digitalization, they will be in charge. Because they have been trained to do it. We will force it and give it to the police. And it's good. We have police department that is doing it. But the police concept was to ensure physicality, isn't it? It is physical protection. Now we want to move them from physical protection into cyber platforms. They were trained with arms, guns. You cannot use guns to solve cyber security issues. Neither can you use they go to training and go and do push-ups and go and physical things. We'll be running after, driving and chasing armed robbery here and there. Excellent. But in the cyberspace, this concept cannot survive. They are not tenable. All right. So let's encourage government to do the 1,000 or 1 million coders issue, so that we have a lot of our youth help to be able to get along these things. Sometimes if you don't have height, they won't take you. If you have this, they won't do this. You have several funny excuses that you need to go to the police to get it. But in the cyberspace, you don't need brute force. You don't need to be tall or short. You don't need to have muscle. You are not going to carry guns. You are going to carry software, your knowledge in software, knowledge in coding. That can also help. All right. Is it okay? Am I good to go?
That's okay, Doc. Yeah, we can hear.
All right, thank you very much. So now, information security is also not in isolation. Information security is going with cyber security, and it's also going with network security, because we are all networked. And this network is not a network yesteryears where our computers were given cables to be networked. Now we are in internet. So it's internet work. Probably we should even be talking about internet work instead of network. Look at us. We haven't met before. Our computers and the power of the internet is putting us together. So information security is not just looking at the information. We started with information asset. What is an information asset? So now we are going to, whether we are digitizing or not, there are cybersecurity issues that is focusing on the computer system and their information. That does not necessarily include the digital resources. Then we now also have the network security, which is a subset of cybersecurity, focusing on protecting the network and its environment. How are you going to protect network that is out there as an internet? So it's all of these components must be taken into consideration. So information security and network security are now hinging on the limited use of the network, including any other information and non-digital information. So we live in a very complex, complicated gamut of information, and that is what is bringing about the information security principles. What are these principles? We know what the principles are. What's the principle? What's the principle? What is principle?
No.
Yes.
No.
What's a principle? Yes.
Yeah, so principles are rules that guide something. Like when you are doing something, the principles are the rules and regulations that you have to follow.
All right. So principles are guidelines. They are guidelines that must be followed. Principles are guidelines that must be followed. All right. Thank you very much. So in information security principle, they were looking at a set of fundamental guidelines. And these are designed to help us to protect our digital and physical assets. So now you see, even your digital is looking at and is being considered as an asset. So our digital and physical assets, these are the things that is going to help you to be able to do it. And that's very, very important. All right. So information security would have its own set of principles, and these principles must be adhered to. The core principles that around the world, and there are more to it, but basically every information must have the CIA triad. The CIAC means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So these confidentiality, integrity, and availability, we are being told that these are the CIA triad, and that is what is making information security very, very, very important. If you want to protect your information, then you have to respect these fundamental guidelines. So CIA triad is representing the foundation of information security. And it can also have others. Apart from the CIA triad, we now also have authenticity and non-repudiation. We'll go into details on that. So the first point is that your information must be confidential. So being confidential, having integrity, being available. But that is not even enough. Because to be confidential, to have integrity, and to be available, you have to be authenticated. So there is authenticity and also non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is where you cannot say you didn't do it. You have initiated an action. You cannot say you didn't do it. And that is what is making us be able to take these things into consideration. So when it comes to security principle, the first principle is confidentiality. So this confidentiality means that you have to be able to ensure your sensitive data are not accessed by unauthorized people, no individual. So you prevent unauthorized people, unauthorized disclosure, or data leaks or data breaches. So it's confidential. I have a conversation with you. I have tested you. I've sent you a voice note or a video of myself. I have tested you on WhatsApp or on Instagram. We have had communication. It is between the two of us. Nobody else should have it. Not even the platform that we used. Nobody has authority to share that information with another person. But you know that it is ongoing. It is illegal. It takes away the CIA trial that information that you share with somebody must be confidential between you. The purpose is to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access, unauthorized exposure, or unauthorized or thefts, right? And to achieve this, you have to have strong access control. So just like you have door locks or gate locks and padlocks and all these security locks in the physical space, you would need strong access control. You need data encryption. You need password protection. You need multi-factor authentication to be able to protect your data from being given to somebody else. So that is the confidentiality. Ensure your sensitive information. In fact, every information is sensitive because the sensitivity of an information depends on how it is used. So every information from a government, from an individual is sensitive. So protect this information from unauthorized access. How would you do it? You can do it by using strong access control, just like you use your door, your security door. These days, we are now thinking about China doors and all manner of things, just so that we can be able to feel secured in our homes and our offices. So data encryption, password protection, and multi-factor authentication are all part of it. Then when it comes to integrity, like the word pretend, is the ability to trust that something that you have is accurate, it's reliable, it's complete, and it can remain unchanged, whether it is in storage or whether it's in transit, unless somebody authorized or unless it is authorized, right? So then the data that you are having, you trust it. You trust the data that you are being given. And then the data will remain trustworthy unless it is corrected by the authorized person, whether it is in transit or in storage. And that can also be done with cryptographic hashing, digital signatures, checksums, audit trails, and all that version control. That's very, very important to be able to achieve the integrity. So we have confidentiality, we have integrity, and then we have availability. Availability will ensure that the authorized users have reliable and uninterrupted access to the data. So just like you have your door, your physical door, people that are coming in through it should be able to come. The fact that you want to protect your home from thieves or from armed robbers and from intruders doesn't mean that those who have the authority to be there, your child, your wife, your husband, or your household, should have access to it. So they have to support continuous operations of the service. And you can achieve this by avoiding redundant servers and disaster recovery plans, putting all of these in place. If there's a failover system, distributed denial of service, all of these would provide the protection so that you can have accessibility, availability. And then authenticity. We've mentioned the multi-factor authenticity. But how authentic is it? You have to verify that the users, the devices, the messages that are being kept or being transmitted is genuine, and that you can confirm that the data originated from the right source. So somebody sends you a message and says that you should share the link. Who is sending you? The link that you are sharing, is it going to have effect on you? So establishing trust and verifying the identity in digital transactions and communication, very important to provide authenticity. So there are certificates, that security certificate, digital certificate, biometric verification, passwords, and smart cards. All of this is to ensure that our data is authentic. The information we are receiving or we are giving is authentic. So authentication protocols are all to be put in place. Then non-repudiation. Earlier on, I alluded to the fact, if you start a process, you will be prevented from saying that you didn't do it. So non-repudiation is to prevent an individual or organization from denying that they have performed a specific function. How would you be able to do that? You need to provide a proof of participation in electronic transaction. So somebody says, I haven't sent any money from my mobile money, and yet the amount of my mobile money is gone. Who did this? So there must be measures put in place to ensure that you are the only one that can send money from your mobile app or wallet. So that is non-repudiation. It will be difficult if you put all the digital signatures, electronic signatures, cryptographic techniques, timestamp and passwords and PIN, and all of these will provide robust audit trail to prevent you from saying that you didn't do it. So these 5 pillars, the CIA tried, plus authenticity and non-repudiation, is all to ensure that individuals and organizations can trust the system that they are using. Because, we live in a very untrustworthy world. Later on, when we get to a certain point, how do you ensure that your information security is in tandem with the principles of accountability, of integrity, and all that? There's something called the zero trust. We'll get there. Zero trust. You don't trust anybody. There must be zero trust. You don't trust anybody. So there are 5 principles that collectively form the foundation for modern information security management. And these are widely incorporated into organization. So every organization must have organizational security policy. That's the first point of call. So long as you have an MIS installed, remember we started with understanding what MIS is. Then we came to the point where we developed the MIS. Then we implemented the MIS. Now we are doing what? We are finding out how we can secure the MIS. If you don't do these things, you are not going anywhere. It's expensive, it's complicated, it is important to do. But to have an information security, you need an organizational security policy. Every organization needs security policy. And that is not the end of it. You also need a cybersecurity framework in your organization, because while you were building the MIS and developing the MIS and implementing the MIS, at each point in time, you should be documenting. And if you are documenting, after that, you can have a policy, you can have a framework, and then you use standards. These are international standards. So what is ISO? ISO, IEC. So let's see ISO, IEC. That's International Standard Organization Framework. These are standards that, if you have to be certified, every organization must be certified. They'll come in there, they'll look at your system, they'll study your system, your processes, your procedures, how you are authenticating, how you are putting in place your cybersecurity framework, your organizational security policy. They'll give you certificates. So all organizations must have certificates. I don't know whether our government institution have certificates. Those working at government institutions, do you have ISO, IEC certification?
No.
You see, there's no. Meanwhile, we are using digital platforms. We have built, or we have bought, we have installed, we have implemented MIS. We don't have certificates. We don't have certificates. Because they will come and give you training. They will train you. They will tell you what you should do. Sometimes they don't come. It's an international body. So you apply, and then they have people within certain places. So if you are a Ghanaian, you will not be allowed to go and look at Ghana, a Ghanaian company. You'll be taken to Nigeria or Kenya. Kenyan person will come here so that they are aware that nobody is doing backhand thing and giving certification. So you need certificates. So if there's an institution in Ghana here that does not have ISO certificates, you go to bank, you go to the bank, they don't have. You go to NIA, they don't have. You go to Electoral Commission, they don't have. So now we can't be sure of the cyber security policies and implications that are there. We cannot be sure. There's a National Institute of Standards and Technologies, also cybersecurity framework, and government information security framework. All these are important, and you can't do one without doing the other. So when it comes to these the foundational principles, you need to ask some critical questions. So confidentiality would be asking, who is allowed to access this particular information? Who is allowed to access it? You have to answer. Who are those who are allowed to access? That is the confidential. If it's integrity, you need to find out whether the information you are being given is accurate and it is not unaltered. Availability would be asking critical questions as to who can have access to this information when it is needed. And if it's authenticity, how genuine can we claim that the information or the data that we are getting, the user, how genuine is the user or what it's claimed. Non-repudiation, we have looked at it already, where the sender or actor cannot deny that he'll be stopped from denying that he performed the action or the transaction. Non-repudiation, because if you put all of these things and they are working in tandem, it means that if something happens, if there's an information being churned out or being transmitted or being received, the person that received it cannot deny that he performed the transaction. So these are very important aspects that bring about the broad security framework that is required within organizations. Any question? Any additions, subtractions? Kofi, David Brown. I said if you come to my class, you have to speak. David Brown, you here? Is David Brown here? Grace.
Yeah, dog, I'm here.
Okay, David Brown, let's hear you. You can't come to this class without speaking. I'm going to be here. We've been speaking for the past from 2, right? So it's almost 1.5 hours. Let's hear you.
Oh, dog,
Any addition, subtraction?
Oh, dog, so I joined in a bit late. However, when I joined in, we were talking about the principles of the cybersecurity. That was when I joined in. And
Okay,
there's a
so
lot of
what
challenges.
are the principles of cybersecurity?
I would have to go through back again to be able to communicate exactly what you communicated earlier.
I see. Okay, so do. All right. Abraham, have you made a point today? You have been very active in the class. Abraham Dazi, Kofi, Prince Ohiniba. I haven't heard from you today, have I? Have you made a point today? Eric has done it. Grace. Is Grace here? Mustafa Adams, you haven't made a point today. Any question, any addition? Hey, Grace, where are you with this break background?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey,
the
Grace, is it your phone or what?
Okay.
This background, yeah, you can't do cybersecurity with this phone. No. All right, Abraham, let's hear you.
I'm in the house, so it's raining here, so I don't know if it's because of the rain.
Hey.
Maybe.
All right, Abraham, let's hear you. Yes, Abraham, let's hear you. Is Abraham here? Savior.
Hello, dog.
Okay, Savior, let's hear you.
So,
Once we
my
are
brother,
yeah, go ahead.
one of my colleagues just asked about the coding, the 1
Oh,
million coding.
yes.
I think
But I thought we've discussed that already. We have to move on. Or what do you want to add? You think it's not important?
yeah, it's very important. At least it will even help some of us to at least get a little knowledge about how this IT world, how things are really moving in terms of coding and the stuff. So it's a very nice initiative from the government.
We
And
discussed, you
I
didn't
also
bring it
thank
up. We've moved from coding, we've moved to framework. We are now on broad security framework, and you are taking us back there. Apart from that,
sir.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, on the broad security framework, some organizations are quite large and very spread across the country, and so it becomes very expensive trying to implement some of these security systems, especially antiviruses and firewalls and those things. So I don't know if there are maybe cheaper ways for corporate bodies, especially in the public sector, to go around this. But sometimes management has very little knowledge about these things, and our IT people, some of the prices I don't know, but Is it really so that they are so exorbitant? And if so, how can organizations mitigate some of these risks in the context of the cost? That's my question.
In the context of cost, the IT industry, when it comes to security is very, very expensive. Even in the physical space, the security is very, very expensive. But you have gold. If you have gold, how you keep gold and diamond, it's not the same as how you keep, for example, stones. All right. So if you want to build a house and you go and buy stone chipping, you see where you pour it. You just pour it and go away because nobody will come and take it. And the value is not, it's not so much for it is things that are expensive that attract other stealing or protection. So you look at yourself, look at your assets, your information asset, and ask yourself the value of that information that you are holding. If you know the value of that information you're holding, even let's even move it to at our personal individual level. If you buy Ghanaians and their kente, if you buy kente, see how you handle it. If you have a suit that you like, see how you handle it. A suit comes with its own jacket. But if you buy a shirt, you buy your jeans, you buy your tatters. See, how do you keep it? How would you keep the things that? How do you keep the things that you value? So that is the mindset that you have. You either have to negotiate or have to go through training, and it doesn't come cheap. But if you don't do it and you lose it, assuming without admitting that Electoral Commission's data is not protected, and we go to election, and somebody hack into the system, and the population, the citizens become aware of the challenges that is happening. And before that, they say, okay, bring $10 million for us to protect it. And so $10 million is too much, we won't do it. And because you didn't do it, somebody hacked into the system, and then the country is in chaos. How much are we going to lose? Maybe more than the 10 million. So rather than looking at the cost of it, look at the value that this is protecting. Of course, I know Ghana, we don't have money to go around. Like I said, if I pick this year's budget, if I'm looking for a line item to say that Ghana said they are going to spend so much money to protect government data, to protect government information, to train people, to train government workers on information security, I may not find it. Somebody just confirmed that we don't even have ISO certification. We don't have it. Meanwhile, we are implementing and we are buying management information systems. We are developing, we are implementing, we are buying management. So those who are going to use it, how can we be so sure that they will be able to do the right thing? So we always are sitting on time bomb. But Ghanaian, we are very good at praying, so probably we can pray. But these things, that prayer does not work in these things.
Okay, so in relation to the value,
Yes.
in relation to the value, yeah, I mean that is a truism, but I don't know. But there's also this assertion in some cortices that the data can be sold, and that data is, everybody says data is gold, but if the data can be sold, how are we leveraging on this as a country and public sector organizations?
Yes, data can be sold. Data is sold everywhere. Data is very expensive. And last month again, the president, was it last month? Yeah, the president refused Donald Trump's request to give Ghana's data to the America, Ghana health data, Ghanaian, the health data on Ghanaians to the America. He refused because it's very expensive. And if he's taking it because they want to come and help us how to okay, David Brown, I've seen your hand. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, no. So
I'll come back to you, David. I'll come back to you right now.
All right.
Data is expensive, and it is because it's expensive that is why we need to protect it. If somebody is coming to take our data from us, he needs to pay the right price. But you see, we give our data out. You and I, we give our data out. We go to Facebook, they ask us of all of these things, and we give it out. We don't even think twice. We don't even read the conditions to be on Facebook, to be on X, to be on Instagram or LinkedIn. We just give the information out. This information we are giving out is gold to them. All right. So still, we will have to find out whether we have put value on our data. So we need to put value on our data. If we put value on our data, we know the value of the data. So if the value of the data is 10 billion, for example, and somebody says, bring 10 million so that I can protect it and insure it. If you have a car, you insure. A new car, people are insuring their new cars. And comprehensive. Others will think that it's also a car. It's moving you from one point to the other. But the others will do a third party. Even if you buy a new car, but the banks, you want to do, because you value the car, you do comprehensive insurance. As soon as you use the car for 4 years, the value of the car will be coming down. And your tenacity to continuously use comprehensive insurance will be waned. Okay, so it is the value you place on something that will determine whether or not you want to spend so much money to protect it. As for those who are giving you the data or the protection, you have to do the training, you have to do all of that. It costs to keep the data. In fact, it is expensive to keep things that you value. The things that you value, it's very expensive to keep. If you don't value them, you leave them outside. Like the stones or your sand that you want to use to build, you leave them outside. But if you buy cement, you see where you keep them. You want to keep them where you can put it under lock and key, right? Other things will be put outside. Yes. Yes, David.
Right. Thank you
Yeah,
very
Doc.
much.
To add to what Mustafa asked, and what you also mentioned, I just want to find out how valuable do we how do we rate data in Ghana? For example,
How do we rate?
yes, data. How do we rate data in Ghana, especially in the area of health? Because you mentioned that recently Trav requested for the data for the health sector or something like that. I think I read something like that and was declined. However, quite recently, not too long ago, we had a working health information management system under the administration. This is for what you call learning purposes under the administration of the NPP, and based on contractual disagreement and a whole lot of things, that whole management system was ripped out. And you know that with this system, the data of patients, the data of almost everybody, this was centralized. So whatever health center that you go to, your data is being captured into the system. And because of contractual or maybe let's say political influences, this allegedly political influences, this health information system was ripped away. And there's a new health information system that the whole country is running on. How about the data that was on that information system? How was it protected? We don't even know, because I understand that it was on external servers. It was hosted on external servers, which are from India. It could be that our information is already somewhere because we don't even know whether there was a transition from that information system to the current information system that we have. So what even shows that we as a country we value our data? What shows that our data is being protected? So it's really not safe for all of us in this country, because if a major incident like this has been trivialized and we do not care whether the data of people are being kept and protected, then I think there's a huge gap for us to consider. Doc, what do you say to that?
Yes, and this cuts across. I mean, from independence, we've done this over and over again. So if you look at your country, look around the country, are you happy? Are you happy as a Ghanaian? Are you proud as a Ghanaian? I'm sure you are not. So you can go back into the bushes somewhere and see project that Kwame Nkrumah did. As soon as he was overthrown, everything he did was destroyed. After several years, then we tried to push and look for it. Some of them had even books that he wrote were all bent and destroyed. So these are data. This is intellectual property. We destroyed them as a nation. We have gone through cycles of coups, and even when we were able to wean ourselves from violent takeover of governments and went into democracy, the concept of looking at your previous the previous administration as thieves and all is still there. Anything, any contract that we have, the next government comes, anything that thing, so there's no continuity. Meanwhile, government should be a going concern. So as a nation, we are not doing good. We haven't done good before digitalization. Digitalization has come and we are not doing good. We've signed a contract, we've given our data to people, and the new government comes. The people have the data, they may not use it, they may not even let you know. They'll give it to somebody. They'll give it to somebody, they'll sell it.
Exactly.
And they'll sell it huge sums of money. So you'll be there, somebody India, they will come and sell it. They'll sell it in piece and pieces. They'll put it together and sell it. But it is not just data that we are not looking at it. We look at our water body. I mentioned about the Galamsey. Look at our water body. We look at the water body. This is an existential threat to all of us. But we look on. We have people who are supposed to do it, the politicians and the lawmakers and the soldiers and the police people and the chiefs and the citizens. We are all looking on. And our water bodies are being destroyed. We see Ankobra and it is red. We see so as a nation, Charlie, it is just a continuation of what we've been doing. It's just a continuation of what we've been doing. This data health information management system, we could use it for the next 20 years. I'm not sure we even use it for 3-4 years. We are scrapping it and bringing new one. We have national health insurance. We did SIM card registration, SIM card re-registration. We are now going to do SIM card re-registration again, and how much money is involved? Meanwhile, look at our schools. Look at our primary schools. Go to Yeji, go to and see where people are studying. See we've been talking about schools under trees. How many have? Look at our police, the police quarters. Have you been to the police quarters? Here, Ghana Communication Technology, the police depot. Go and look at the structures there. Go and look at the structures there, and the police people are staying there. Go and look at where they bath. Go and look at their kitchen. Go and look at the room. We are keeping people to go out there and protect us. Go to just opposite the police headquarters. There's the prisons. There's the prisons. What do you call it? Prisons quarters there. Look at the prisons quarters, and look at how much money we are throwing to the dogs because of political expediency. So yes, you are right. But who bails the cat? Who would do it? Who would pick up and say, look, this is in the interest of Ghana? Nobody is doing anything in the interest of the country. Nobody. How much money did we put into building a cathedral? When people have, look at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the maternity ward. Look at the surgical ward of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Look at the children's ward of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. How much can be used to do it? So this is just a continuation of what we have decided to do as a nation. Some of us are sad, but what can you do? You don't have the authority. So let's lick our wounds and pray that you become a president one day, and then you say that no, we cannot say that because NPP did it, NDC must do it. or because it was the previous government that did it, so this government will not do it. And we find meanwhile, nobody has been taken to court and prosecuted over these things. Nobody. So it's sad. It's sad, and I agree with you that it is very sad. As for us, we are academics. We'll do the research and come. So, for example, this issue that you have raised, we can do research on this and publish it, and probably get promotion with it, become a senior lecturer, become a professor, a super professor, and then you go on retirement. The thing that you have written is in books. Nobody will read it. You yourself will have project work, your project work and your thesis. You would come up with ideas, very potent ideas, and you would advise government, advise policymakers and academics, and it will still not be used. So Brown, I appreciate, and I'm with you on this call. But this is not the first time. Everything, a lot of things, when you hear, you clinch. It's sad. Yes, Xavier. Xavier, your mic is on. You want to say something?
Oh, sorry. I was talking about the police depot. I was trying to check
The police depot, eh?
Yes,
And this
I
is
have been there. In fact, sometimes when you go around and you see that
go
this
to
is where the police
go to somewhere Saboba and go and look at it. If Accra Central, the capital city, this is where the police people. This is where they are. How can somebody come out of this? What is it? This.
I mean, opposite the Flagstaff House, the police depot there is very bad. Opposite the Flagstaff House.
Look at the opposite the Flagstaff House. Look at the Flagstaff House. So you know, and this is in the center of the city. So go to my hometown and go and see the police depot there. It's sad. It's really sad. And yes, the military, yes. I was at the Bema camp, the military whatever mess, the military senior officers mess. Go and look at the place. Go and look at the senior officers mess. It is just being run down because there hadn't been any maintenance for how many years. It is a sad reality of our life. But if you don't take time, you speak too much, it's like you become political or you become emotional.
But Doc, sometimes we have to also blame the people. I mean, the police, those that are police and stuff. Because sometimes if you build your own house, I don't think you will treat it that way. But sometimes some of the buildings and where they are, they need some a little renovation and stuff. But because they are not paying anything and they think it is not them who build the destiny.
So
Sometimes it's really happen.
It's a composite, it's a composite and complicated.
Yeah.
Please, we are doing security. Okay, of course, these are all part of security, but we are doing digital security.
Sometimes instead of the person to pull out his own money and say, "Oh, let me renovate this place more."
Yeah,
or
sorry to cut you, eh?
Okay.
Sorry to cut you, but those buildings, they can't renovate them themselves. Because if you renovate them, the kind of, audits you go through, so they can't renovate. That is why they are still in like that. They can't renovate them themselves.
In fact, there was somebody who wanted to construct a road. He had what it takes. I think the road in his area was dilapidated, and he wanted to do it. As soon as he brought the bulldozer to start, the MCE came around and said, "No, you can't do it." Because when you do it, they probably want to become an MP in the area. So you are using it to gain popularity too. So don't do it. We have to go through tender, we have to go through approval, we have to accept this, we have to accept this. So we are in the country, eh? Bro, your hand is still up.
Yeah, Doc, I want to get your thoughts on the NITA.
Is it on cybersecurity?
Yeah, it's on cybersecurity. Yeah, your thoughts on the NITA bill the government wants to pass. What's your take on it regarding the fact that we have ISO standards? Is there actually a need for us to pass the NITA bill? Because it's just like, I mean, for me, I don't think it's really important to have any.
You have made your point and you know what you want to do. Then who am I to tell you?
But then I want to know your thoughts. What do you think?
ISO, the ISO is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. It's very expensive. I've led an ISO team before, and it's not a cheap thing. When the people come, you have to host them. You have to pay their air tickets. So if they are going to be here for a week, they'll train people. It doesn't come cheap at all. Okay, so probably NITA want to do the Kwame Nkrumah. We have to show the black man, they have to show the white man that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs, sort of thing. I'm a member of the IT professionals, ICT professionals, and we've released. If you go online right now, we have released what do you call it? A communique on it. Yes, even people within the community still think that this is something we could have waited. But as a nation, we need to also take our own laws into our own hands and see how we can do it. It's not the number of laws that we have, but it's also whether or not we are going to be able to and do it. Otherwise, another government comes and say, no, we didn't do it. We are going to do it again. And that is also pulling us back as a nation. So Ghana will take 2 steps forward and they will take 3 steps back. And that's my only concern. Otherwise, if you read it portends, it has a good concept that will help the cybersecurity space. So if we're going to do it well, then that's fine. But if you're going to do it and not do it well, another government comes and say, no, you didn't do this, we didn't have consultation, we didn't get a buy-in. Look at what happened to our parliament. Look at what happened on our airwaves. Every morning, we spend about 3 hours talking and discussing things. Somebody has written something in the papers, and we are here to discuss 3-4 hours. You have government officials and other people talking about things. Then in the evening, in the night, whilst you are supposed to go and sleep, you have other people also sending you how to stop living on earth and go to heaven, and share the link to midnight. So we are doing all the things that we should do, but the very important thing we are forgetting to do. So I can't, it's your view and I can't take it away from you. Can we make progress?
Yeah, we can.
All right, so let's make progress. There was 1 million coders issue, and if you look at 1 million coders program, very, very good. And if we're going to put that with cybersecurity issue, they are closely interconnected because the success of digital economy depend on producing software developers who understand. So we need technology professionals and also ensure that they understand the digital system, the data, the critical infrastructure. So yes, this is to equip young people with software development skills, mobile, web applications, artificial intelligence, data science and analytics, cloud computing. And so we have digital entrepreneurship. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to protect your goal. So this initiative is aiming to create digitally skilled workforce capable of supporting Ghana's digital transformation agenda and enhancing employment opportunities. So it's good if you do this building cybersecurity workforce. So if we expand our digital service through platforms, national identification platform, Ghana Revenue Authority, National Health, all these are increasing need for cybersecurity professionals. So the coders are important. Let's all support the coders, and we'll get to where we are expected to reach. Let's finish with let's have a break. I think at 4 o'clock we need a break, right? So we need 30 minutes break and come back. All right. Let's have a break because the broad security framework will be another level of discussion. We need a break. So let's take a break. Let's take our 30 minutes break now and come back at 4:30. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
doc. Yes, doc.
All right, so stretch yourself a little. I've been sitting for more than 2 hours. I need to stretch myself a little. So let's stretch ourselves a little. And ICD, if you can pause the recording so that the 30 minutes will be a blank space for us. Thank you very much.
Nenebuchi, please mute yourself, Nenebuchi, please mute yourself.
Okay, all right. Thank you and welcome back. Good afternoon once more. Hello, can you hear me?
Good afternoon,
We
Doc.
can hear you,
Hello,
Doc.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I hope we've had some 30 minutes of respite, so we can continue from where we left off. Okay, all right. So before we left, we were talking about the 1 million coders. I just went online and I saw that the president and the minister of communication, they said 120,000 have finished the coding. So I think Ghana is on course. All right, so we are looking at broad security framework. We know what security is. The first definition was that it is a protection from harm. But when we come to cyber security, we come to information security, it's not so much about security from harm. It can also be security against your data being misappropriated or your data going to where you did not approve of. But there are several frameworks that need to be considered. So for effective implementation of the principle that we've just discussed, the principle including the CIA triad, apart from the CIA triad, we also looked at authentication and non-repudiation. The CIA triad is the confidentiality, availability, and integrity. And when we expand it further, we are also talking about authentication and non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is that it's a point where users of information system cannot be allowed to deny initiating a transaction, an information transaction. Because if all the CIA triad is in place and it is working well, then if you have started the process and the confidentiality is assured, integrity is assured, and then availability is assured, if you started the project or the process, you would not be allowed, or you cannot say that you didn't do it. So you should be stopped. When it comes to broad security framework, we are looking at in-depth security in-depth, so defense in-depth. It's like a military terminology. We have defense in-depth, we have least privilege, and then we also have what's going on? My mouse is not moving. Oh, what is that? Can you hear me? I don't think it's
Yes,
moving.
Doc, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me reshare. Share. Security index. So we're looking at security index. Okay, broad security. Okay, so we have defense in-depth, which is the practice of using multiple overlapping security controls so that if one fails, the other is there. Just like the military strategy, there's always a backup. When they are going to a war front, you don't put all your troops. You have a backup so that when the first one fails, the second one will also go for attack. In our homes, we also have security in-depth or in-depth defense in-depth. You have your wall. You have a gate to the wall, and then when you enter the house, you have your gate to your hall, and even in your hall, after you enter your bedroom, you have another gate. So you see how many levels of security that you have put in place. In cyber security as well, these broad security framework are in place. So we have least privilege as well. So you give users only the minimal level of access that is required. You don't give privilege to everybody. Depending on the job function, depending on what the person is doing, then you can give the person access to your security. So these are broad security framework. The other one is the zero trust. I'm sure zero trust will come as we go along. These are broad frameworks. So when you are in the cyber security space, you are in information security and environment, you need to have practice. You need to use multiple overlapping security controls so that in case one fails, the others are in place. So you have passwords, you have multi-factor authentication, you may have your fingerprints. All of these things are to ensure that if anybody has access to your password, you can crack. We say crack the password. If you can crack the password, you cannot crack your thumbprint. And then if you give least security, least privilege, access privilege, the person will not be able to do what he's not shaped to do. In public organization, cyber threats are real. They are not just real. They are a great threat to information security in government institutions because it revolves around ransomware. So where we have ransomware, we have phishing, we have nation-state attack, and then also we have insider threats. We know what ransomwares are, right? What's ransomware?
Yes, sir.
What is ransomware?
Yeah, so basically they are attacks that are occasioned on systems, and the main purpose is they demand some ransom or big amounts for it not to go through. If not, they'll method it on you or hijack your system, basically.
That's fine. So yes, they get the information from you. They hold some information from you. They have breached your information, and then they tell you to bring money before they release it. Even sometimes when they breach the car, understand the police will do it. As soon as they catch you, you don't have a license. They tell their friends. So you sort them out. They tell the next friend that the guy that is coming, the license is expired. So if you don't take time, you have a lot of people coming to you. So ransomware, they are making a lot of money. So let's have somebody discuss phishing attack and then the nation state attack and insider threats. All right, I'm waiting.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, phishing attack.
Yeah,
So what is phishing?
Yeah, so the phishing is like so for instance, we have a main website and then hackers try to generate let me say a fake website that looks just like the original website, and then they use it for fraudulent activities online. That's for phishing attack.
But sometimes also they'll send you an email that is like coming from a genuine.
Right,
Yeah,
correct.
They send you an email, and if you click on it, then you are in trouble. Okay, so what about a nation state attack? Nation state attack. Who is giving us nation state attack? Abraham. I see your name first. You have your phone, so please consult your phone and let's get a definition and move on.
Please come again. Hello?
Nation public.
So basically,
we can hear you. Yeah, Matthew.
yes, sir. So basically, is the type that is done on a large scale, normally on behalf of a state or a government. So the clear example would be that of is in North Korea, where we know that the government, or allegedly the government, sponsors some of these high level of attacks to make money for their states or the country.
Okay, so that one there is a nation. So once nations are going to physical wars, in the cyberspace, especially for public institutions, they are attacking your state of the art digital platforms in public institutions. So nation to nation attack. And then we have insider threats, which is Which is inter.
So the staff of an organization, where the
That
staff,
threats. Yes, Abraham, your mic is on now.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
It's a security,
yeah.
it's
Go
a
ahead.
security risk that comes from a person within an organization.
The person is within your organization, and a lot of it is here in Ghana. The person is there. And we talked about it earlier on where either he's not happy or he feels cheated or something. They have all manner of reasons why they do what they do.
Doc, I have example right now, even my two former organization, the IT.
Your what?
My previous two last but one organization, the
Hey,
IT
how many
officer there,
organizations have you been working with?
I think 4.
Hey, that is called slippery feet. You are not slippery feet. You are not staying at one place. You are moving from
No.
place
I
to place.
just want to explore.
Okay, go ahead. Let's listen to you.
The IT officer there has been complaining of a lesser salary. And it's like the month will come, unless 2 weeks of the preceding month, that sometimes they pay the salaries. So this is what the guy has been doing. When somebody comes to the hospital facility and is paying for drugs, since he knew the system, he sometimes connive with the cashiers, take the money, and go to the system and delete the entire bill and the entire history of the person, as if nobody has come to the facility.
Yeah. It happens. And but this one, the money is small. I mean, because a patient, how much would the patient be paying? Some people are
Not small. Not small.
Really?
Doc,
No, if he's doing it for, yes, go ahead. Because now we have free, we have national health insurance. So most of the people that come will come with national health insurance.
No. Yeah, assuming even you come with national health insurance and you are paying a top up for one person, maybe a top up around maybe 1,200, and within a day you won't do it, man. So you do like 3 people for a month. Hey, you are going on.
Okay, all right. That's why. Yeah. So that's the insider threat issue. Yes, you're right. I mean, so these people, so it makes public cybersecurity in public organizations very, very interesting and very, very critical for everybody in the public space to understand. So if we understand how they operate, then we can find solutions to it. If you don't understand, then we can't. Because public services, they hold vast amount of sensitive data. Our health services, our education services are all managing critical infrastructure. So they become prime target for cyber criminals. And cyber criminals can be ransomware people, they can be phishing attackers, they can be nation state. And the one that you would even not think about is the insider. Somebody is inside there and is either giving information to people who become ransomware attackers. So these are prime targets to have financial gain or to cause political disruption. Where we have in most of our African countries where we have people want to be we've gone through election, we've campaigned, we've gone through election, we finished the election. There's a government in place, and still we will still be in the election mode, trying to derail the incumbent. It happens. It's been back and forth for us. So all of this is to either seek political advantage or gain financial and have financial gain. So to understand cybersecurity, because the information security and cybersecurity, they go hand in hand. So cybersecurity practice, when it is done well, to protect the digital system, to protect the network devices and data from unauthorized access and cyber attacks. So these digital systems, these networks, these devices are what we call the information asset. So cybersecurity is supposed to protect the information asset, and they rely on a number of items or components. The people themselves, and the example that was given where somebody is siphoning money that is being paid and deleting everything from the system because he understands the system. So the people, the process, and then the technology. All these are supposed to work together to defend against cyber threats and also to manage vulnerability. We are all vulnerable. For the cyber security, it's not how intelligent you are or how educated you are. We can all fall prey to it. If there's a highway attacker on Kumasi to Accra route, and you get there and you have a certificate in security, you can still be attacked. So it's not what you do. So cybersecurity will become the various combination of methods, or all the methods or the processes, procedures, the tools and the behavior that can help protect our information assets, which include the computer system, the network, and the data. We are protecting against cyber attack, and we are protecting against unauthorized access. So if we deploy these systems, if you deploy these principles and programs, it has to be in the technology anyway, because you cannot have cybersecurity with technology. So they are riding on technology. So if they are riding on technology, it is critical that they also would have to use technology to become effective. And this is very much also dependent on people, because human errors, human negligence, and lack of awareness of the human can help or can really create the vulnerabilities that cybersecurity or cyber criminals will be exploiting. So whether you are negligent, they don't care. They are always also looking for opportunities. So they will go for the low-hanging fruit. So there are several practices, several best practices that need to be put in place. We talked about the ISO, IEC framework, the international framework that must be taken into consideration. So we need to adhere to security protocols, whether at individual levels or at organizational levels, that are very important. They play an important role to prevent the breaches and also to prevent or to make the computer system safe. And these include, for public administration, government digital infrastructure and platform, essential services, and sensitive data of people. All of this should be protected from malicious digital threats, because as public agencies manage critical data for taxation, for health, for security, for education, they cannot go. Public institutions have become targets for cyber criminals, because that for individuals, how much song would an individual have? If you come to me, how much would you get? So, but if they go to government and they get it, then they are there. For private institutions, because it's for private, they put in place much measures to prevent these things. If they are going to, and they don't have a lot of bureaucracy for approvals when you are working with private institutions. But for government institutions, the approval that you have to go through, you have to get approval from here, you have to go to parliament, you have to do this, you have to do that. By the time, and even when they are done, the criminals will target it, because as soon as they get hold of it, they are going to have a lot of money. So it is important for citizens to understand the core component of public sector cybersecurity. Looking at the main risk, what are some of the risks? So every public sector institution must look at the risk, must look at the pillars, and must have strategic security management framework. And there are frameworks that are available that can be used. And so the primary cyber threats for administrators face several prominent attacks. So we have the first one, that is the vector that exploits common public sector vulnerability. We've talked about ransomware, which will use vital agency data and paralyze the municipal operations, so that they can, when they have information, they can extort money from you before the services are restored. We also looked at phishing and social engineering. So you'll be receiving malicious email and scam targeting our government employees, so that they compromise. So if you don't train them to look at, if you see that I've sent you an email, even the language, the verbiage alone should tell, no, this is not how my boss is sends email to me. You have a situation where an accountant receive an email from the boss that he's doing some negotiation somewhere. So he should send $100,000 to a certain account, and it is the boss's email. So he also send the money, and then the boss come and they are doing us. But you send me an email. This is the email that you sent to me. But of course, you can also have the same person doing it, the accountant doing it with somebody else. So insider threats, they'll send an email from another, and then they'll go and share the money. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. So the email is coming from the email that has been initiated by the company boss, asking the accountant to wire $100,000 to a particular account, and the accountant does that. Accountant know how much money is in the coffers. Then he comes and says, meanwhile, there's non-repudiation. Remember, if you start a process, you cannot claim that you didn't start it. So if it is coming from your email, meanwhile, his email has been hacked or has been cloned and used to do this activity. So that is it. Social engineering is where we have people, especially on social media and all of those things, using other means to be able to scam people. And these are targeting government officials to gain unauthorized access to information or to the network. And we've talked about the nation-state attack, where they are using advanced persistent threats targeting government agents. So this is for espionage, geopolitical influence, and large-scale disruption. These are government to government, just the same way during the Cold War. And even we have spies, government sends spies, espionage to other countries to look at so that they can exploit. There are supply chain attackers who would be influencing or infiltrating in less secure third-party vendors to gain access, and then they can use it to attack government. If it's a company that supplies items to government, so government, citizen to government, and they have access to that company, maybe a vendor supplying items to government, they have it. So they can be using it to attack government networks. There are several pillars of it, and the 5 pillars of security, cyber security, the people security, where we have to continuously look at cyber security awareness training. So train them and help staff to organize and report social engineering tactics. So if you don't train them and they don't know what to do, then they may fall prey. But because the money doesn't belong to them, if anything happens, it's government that is losing. Then you can also have the network. We are all network, maybe internet work, I should say internet work. So there are several segmentation because of internet. There's a need for firewall. There's a need for multi-factor authentications so that we can restrict unauthorized access across the network. Because government is government to government, agency to agency. They are always communicating. So if we don't secure the network where we don't have multi-factor authentication, then you receive an email and you think it's coming from another department or agency, which may not be so. Then there's also the need for information and data security. So you have to enforce rigorous encryption and strict access control to protect sensitive data of citizens' records. So whether it's national identification, the national electoral commission, all these data must have encryption so that people then just have access to it. Then the application as well. Various portals are being used for administrative, and they must be consistent. They must be patched. They must know the vulnerabilities and put in place measures that can help prevent the bad guys from using the application to attack the system. And of course, the operational security as well. You need to create comprehensive testing mechanisms so that there are incident response planning to ensure that business continuity, government project continuity is in place. How do we achieve that? Citizens' privacy must be protected. The data that we have must be protected. Ghana passed the Data Protection Act. So the Ghana government administration is governed by the Data Protection Act. So invariably, all of us are looking at the 1992 Constitution that is guaranteeing the right to the fundamental right to privacy. So the Data Protection Commission will be serving as regulatory body. Remember, we talked about regulation. To have your data, to have your information security well done, you need data. And this Data Protection Commission, using the Data Protection Act as a regulatory body to oversee and enforce the mandate across all government sectors. And all government centers mean all government centers. The legal and regulatory framework the Constitution is giving us. So Article 18, Clause 2 of the Constitution gives the right of citizens to their privacy. So whether it's your home, your correspondence, your communication, this is the first point of call. We have established a bedrock for data privacy. And the Data Protection Act directly to all public institutions, requiring that government departments and agencies to act as a controller of data. So you have to process data lawfully. You have to ensure responsible handling of people's data. The commission is mandated, it is the one that is mandated to register data controllers. So if you are going to keep anybody's data, if you're going to collect anybody's data for anything, you need to have a certificate or a mandate from the Data Protection Commission. But I'm wondering, using Facebook, we are using WhatsApp, we are using this, are these laws also are these platforms also affected? Or can government of Ghana say that, look, unless you come and get certification from the Data Protection Commission, you cannot take the data of any Ghanaian? I think that's another step that we have to do, because there's obligation for public administrators. So the act is ensuring that institutions handle citizens' data. Any institution that is handling data must adhere to these fundamental data protection principles. You have to be accountable. The first point is accountability. So any government agency that is responsible must comply with the legal principles governing data. You need to be accountable. You need to be lawful for processing the data as well. The personal data must be gathered and processed fairly without infringing on the data subject's rights, the subject data's rights, if I should say. Then there are specifications also. The data you are collecting must be explicitly defined for the purpose for which the institution is even mandated, or statutory functions of the institution. So if you're picking my data, I want a passport, and you're picking my data, there are certain information that you don't need. You don't need to add. There must be specified purpose for it. And the institutions are also required to safeguard robust physical and technical security measures to prevent unauthorized access. So long as I have my data with you, it is incumbent upon you to ensure that nobody has access to my information. No unauthorized access. Remember the CIA tribe. We cannot do that. So that we cannot lose my data, and then we cannot have the data corrupted. We cannot have the data corrupted. Sensitive data cannot be corrupted. So yes, I think President Mahama did well, because if he had given the data to the US government, so maybe he got a good advice. Somebody can wake up and take the government to court and maybe get money. Because I gave my data to you for specific purpose. My health, I came to the hospital, I'm not feeling well, you've taken my data, and you have given the data to somebody without recourse to me. So if you look at the Data Protection Act, then the government did right. If the government has reneged on this and given that data to the US government, Ghanaian can pick the government on, and probably if the legal system is good, will be able to take information. There was a University of Ghana lecturer. He ordered for a boat. Is it a boat or no? Yes, either a boat or young one of these. And when he ordered and the boat driver accepted the request, he saw his name and his picture as the driver. So the guy comes to pick him up. He starts engaging him. He took some few information from me. He didn't disclose that this is me. Then he sued the right platform, the ride sharing platform, the ride hailing platform. And he got a lot of money. He was compensated because whilst he was filling the form for, when you want to, if you want want to get the ride hailing platform, you need to, they take you through a process to provide your information, and you keep providing. Some of them even ask you for your picture. Take a picture before you'll be allowed to use the platform. So this data went on, and now somebody has had information to use it. He doesn't care how it got done, but he sued and got compensated. So it's important to protect data that is in your possession. You are required, because you are taking my data. You have to do it. You have to be compliant, and also have monitoring mechanism to ensure that the data that you have, and especially for public organizations, you must register with the Data Protection Commission, and these registration must be renewed periodically. So for public organization and for all organizations that are taking data per our laws, and I'll share the law with us in a jiffy. And there must be notification breach of notification. If government agencies are required to notify any data breach, any citizens whose data has been affected, they must report immediately of any unauthorized access to the data that has been done. And the data privacy seal as well. They'll issue you with visible trust mark and QR codes to ensure that you can verify an entity that has registered. So I said there's certification. So you have QR code to seal. That can align its operations with standards of data protection. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there are several issues that we need to be aware of, and I'm not sure whether the Ghanaian population is aware. We are sitting on our rights because we are not aware. There are certain exemptions though. If the data is being taken for certain to protect rules, especially for national security, for public safety, for public order, and also if you are going to perform statutory duties, then we should be able to do that. There are challenges because it's not a cheap and easy thing. And look at us here. This is master's level. How many Ghanaians have masters? And how many Ghanaians are having this type of education? Not much. So this integration of these legacy system already in the public domain, the public system already have their legacy system, the legacy IT system. Changing it has all its ramifications, including change management principles and all of that. So digitization of government services, the National Identification Authority, the biometric databases, all these have challenges. They have risk that requires sufficient data protection infrastructure. Do we have it? There's a need to modernize the data governance that align with evolving global standards. We talked about ISO. And from this platform, somebody says, no, I work with the government institution. We don't have ISO certification. So how are we able to evolve? How are we able to use international standards? So Ghana will continue to refine its legislative framework without necessarily introducing sweeping policies. So we have data protection bill, and we need to be able to use the others to get it. Legal and ethical issues also arise out of using the data. Any question? Any question? Additions, subtractions? Prince Ohineba, I haven't heard from you today. Kofi, Prince Ohineba, are you here?
Yes, the Kofi.
You haven't spoken today. We've been here for almost 3 hours.
Dog, in the first session, I spoke.
What did you say?
I raised the discussion of the controller and the
Okay.
bankers testing message for the loan issue.
Are you here with two num? Okay, that's Bismarck Kofi, right? So this is Ohineba Kofi, and this is Bismarck Kofi and Kofi. Bismarck.
Yes, dog.
Any question, any addition, any comment? Any comment?
Yes, dog. This with those of us who work in the public sector that has all the computers lined together, as you mentioned earlier, we should be circumspect in opening our private emails on the public computers or the office machines, because I had watched one documentary movie. It was a movie that was in 2023, $1 billion East. And these people stood in their homes, sent a message to a worker in the Bank of Bangladesh, and hacked the whole office's account. So when they went on weekends, and the target was that the next Monday was on holiday. So they had 4 days to operate. And then, in fact, they took a huge sum of money. So before they came to office to realize that this thing was going on, they've already cashed out big. So at least they should be circumspect in opening some emails on our website and then on our computers at the offices and other stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very good intervention. Yes, it happens very much. Even sometimes using public Wi-Fi. You know, data is expensive in the third world. So when you get to a place that the Wi-Fi is free, you want to download some things, you want to do some things. But what you are doing, if you're a public figure or you work with a public organization, then you should be careful, because people, whilst you are there, people are also using all manner of things to have access to it. So we should be careful. There are several case studies about infringements and huge losses to governments as a result of data breaches in government. So there's the need for ethical issues in MIS. You need to be ethical. What are the legal and ethical issues? So cybersecurity threats in public organizations can create critical legal and ethical dilemmas. As for ethics, we cannot do away with it as soon as you are using information system. So yes, you may defend, or you may have vast amount of data. You can do it. You can defend against the ransomware, the hackers, and even state-sponsored espionage. You can do all that. But at the same time, there's a need to have strict public trust. There are mandates regarding other people's privacy, transparency, and accountability. So there are legal issues. For the legal thing, we've talked about it. We talked about the Data Protection Act, and it's a huge document. I'll share with you, and you need to look at it. So for the primary cybersecurity threats, local municipalities, health department, public education bodies, all of these are targets because they have the numbers of personal identification information. So they must know what they want to do. Malware and ransomware attackers are also here. They are infiltrating and exfiltrating essential public data, demanding payments that compromise operational continuity. Of course, we've talked about the state-sponsored attacks where foreign adversaries will target public infrastructure to disrupt it. Hacktivism would also politically motivated issues. They will do denial of service attack to disrupt administrative services. All of these are issues that we have to be worried about. Then there are legal issues. There's the need to comply with public sector regulations, because if you don't do it, then it will carry penalties. So data protection law, data privacy laws, every public agency is mandated to protect data that they are collecting. So in Europe, we have the General Data Protection Regulation, and then in Ghana, we have our own Data Protection Act. Liability and negligence. So even if you are liable if you fail to implement the MIS security controls, if you don't have firewalls, you can't give us excuse. So the same way of the non-repudiation, you can't give excuse. But of course, firewalls will expire. So if it's expiring and we don't have, we haven't paid our subscription, that can lead to litigations and financial penalties as well. And this must be avoided to ensure reputation is not damaged. Then there's data sovereignty, where you have data of citizens, it must be stored locally. So this is a law. So if the government say we are not going to allow data to be taken by foreigners, that is in order. So data must be secured on domestic servers rather than offshore. But that is also not easy. Even our electoral register is not stored in-house. I'm sure that is also in the cloud. So all these things must be taken care of. Data sovereignty must be taken care of. There are several ethical challenges where MIS is required to be proactive against security, the right of individuals, the right of citizens, the right of employees. And then we are looking at surveillance and privacy. What is the difficulty between surveillance and privacy? At the same time that the government want to, like the policeman on the highway, people must pass, but you want to catch them. So our police people will go and hide. They will hide in a cave, and as soon as you reach there, they bring their speed gun and ask you to park. Now you are going above the speed limit. So yeah, the government must survey. They must survey because they are the government is the repository of our security system. Every country's government is in charge of security. But how can you have security without surveillance? So once you are doing surveillance, you are also infringing on other people's rights. So to detect threats like insider exfiltration and phishing and all of that, you have IMS professionals there's a need to deploy network monitoring. So you are monitoring them and seeing that user tracking software. You are using user tracking software. So this is creating ethical conflicts because I need my privacy. So whilst I'm using my computer, why are you spying on me? So how would you be able to manage such a difficult situation? How would you be able to manage such a difficult situation? Or how should such situation be managed? Deborah, privacy and surveillance. You need your privacy. The government also needs to survey what is going on. What should be done? Yeah, Deborah. Eric Kofi Atiga, you have not spoken today. James Enki, you haven't spoken today. Redeem yourself.
Yeah, I'm here.
How would you?
Oh, okay. For me, I was waiting. Okay.
Yes, surveillance and privacy. How do you manage it?
I would say the government will have to find the balance between what they can survey and what is deemed private to the individual, or else it will overlap. There are some data that is so sensitive and personal, such that the government do not have to interfere. And there are some public data that the government must have access to. If not, it's going to be some friction and the system is going to fail. And that's what I think.
Okay, so to you, the government must know what you should do, but it is fine on your computer, on your phone. All the calls that you are doing, they know. So there must be a need to balance surveillance so that we avoid, yes. So surveillance, you're monitoring, you are collecting data, you are recording people, you are analyzing the information about the individuals. So government and organizations are doing that. Business people are also doing that. You want to improve services, you need to know how to prevent crime and how to protect it. But if you do it excessively, then it can also threaten individual privacy. Privacy is the right of the people, the individual. The Constitution gives us the mandate for privacy. That's the first point. So you have your privacy. You need to know who is collecting your data, who is using your data, who is storing your data, who is sharing your data. These are fundamental issues. These are the fundamental human rights. The UN even charter mandates that you cannot pick somebody's information. So meaning national constitution, including our 1992 constitution, also agrees with it, agrees with the UN charter that individuals' rights of data must be their own data. Our government is also spying it. Government is using CCTVs. They are using security personnel to monitor. They are using drones. They are using traffic monitoring. So wherever you go, they know where you are. So there are digital surveillance. The internet activity is monitoring. Your emails, your social media is being tracked. Mobile phone location tracking system, metadata are all being collected. So governments are using these to prevent or to counter terrorism, to prevent cyber crimes, to protect national security and maintain public safety. The corporate entities are also doing it. Businesses are collecting data from individuals through customer data. If you go to a business center or you go to a business person to transact business, you need information about you, your name, your telephone number, your email address. You take all those information, your website, your mobile application, your loyalty program, they are taking it. So it's important to survey security crimes and prevention. So if you are surveying, then you are able to detect criminals, criminal activity. You are able to investigate crimes and monitor public spaces, enhancing national security. So surveillance is important for the public. Authorities can be able to manage traffic, monitor emergencies, and respond to disaster, protect critical infrastructure. Organizations can also use surveillance to prevent fraud. So if the people in my office, now one of the critical concerns is the insider threat. So now if I'm not monitoring my employee and he's doing something nefarious, how do I detect it on time? Do you understand? So the thin line between surveillance and privacy is of great concern. So there's a need to protect information, to monitor compliance, and also to detect insider threats. But privacy is also here. Privacy is on unauthorized data collection. Who authorizes my data to be collected? It is me. So if I've not authorized my data to be collected and you are collecting it, you might have all the reasons there is to have. But then I haven't given you the authority. So yes, individuals may not know what data has been collected. You may not know how the data is collected, who is collecting the data, who has access to the data. So if this is happening, then there's poor secure surveillance. You can expose personal information, you can expose my financial records, my health information, my identity credentials, and also because I don't know that you have used my data. So there's misuse of information that has been collected, which may be used for profiling people, discrimination, political manipulation, and commercial exploitation, and all of this. There's also loss of anonymity. Sometimes I don't want people to know. So continuously monitoring me can also reduce my personal freedom and create a feeling of being constantly watched. So the trade-off between surveillance and privacy is really critical. The key challenge is that the national security and road and public safety must know what you are doing. Individual privacy and also civil liberties, so that little surveillance must be allowed. It is increasing the security risk, while excessive surveillance, like our colleague said, may undermine democratic freedoms and individual rights. So ethical and legal consideration must be done. Organizations and public institutions must only collect lawful data, must obtain informed consent where applicable, and be transparent in their surveillance practices. And if we do this, we can minimize data minimization. We talked about data minimization, where you collect the data that you need, only the data that you need, don't take any more. And if you have this, then there's a relevant protection regulations, including the data protection law, the general data protection of the regulation of the US, and the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So all of these are best practices that is required to balance surveillance and also privacy, to collect only the data that is necessary and obtain consent when appropriate, encrypt sensitive data so that people don't have access to it, and establish clear data retention policies, because you even have the right for you not to be remembered. So I come to your shop and I do business. After I've done the business, I've closed the business. I don't want you to keep my data. You have your right to do that. So there must be strong cybersecurity, implementation of strong cybersecurity controls, so that we can ensure independent oversight and accountability. So yes, surveillance is playing a very critical role. It is important for security. It is important for crime prevention and also for service delivery. But there's a need to balance with the protection of individual rights. So effective laws, ethical practices, transparency, and strong cybersecurity would ensure that we are able to avoid some of these things. We need to be transparent as well. If you are transparent, you are not hiding and taking my data. So data protection, cyber security, information security, these are very critical. And for public institutions, there's a need to have ethical and legal bound. Public institutions are ethically and legally bound to be transparent about how their taxpayers' funds are being used and services are being managed. So we need full disclosure and vulnerability or specific mechanisms that would expose cybersecurity to this organization. There are others as well, those we are going to. So we have the algorithmic biases and also cyber artificial intelligence. So if you want to utilize artificial intelligence, we cannot stop but use it. And there's a need to automate cybersecurity defenses for public organizations and ensure the algorithms are free from biases, because the person is coming from here or there, he's black or white. There's the need to avoid disproportionate targets of specific demographics. These are all part of it. There are best practices though. The best practices is International Organization for Standardization, the ISO, which we don't have in our public institutions. So there's how to navigate these issues, public sector entities, establishment of framework that can align with international bodies and our laws are all very important. We talked about data minimization already, where we are collecting and storing data that is strictly necessary for providing the service that we are requiring. And zero trust architecture. Every one of us using government services must verify. Every user must be verified. Every device that's attempting to access institutional must be verified. We have to give only the minimal interest to the threats. So don't trust anybody. Zero trust architecture. Don't trust. Anytime you receive a call, you receive an email. Recently, I've been trying to solve some of this problem. he's in Italy or something, and then somebody just called and created an emergency need. He needed some money, and he sent the money to the person. Then the person came again, and I think it was the third time that she realized that no, let me call the number. You call the number and the person is not picking. He gave the number to me. I tried several times. He's not picking. Then he will send you a text that he cannot talk. You cannot talk, but you can collect money. So yes, we need to be careful. Whilst we want to help people and to solve their problem, we need to be careful because the bad guys are there to help to take it out. So we have to have training. We have to have aware. We have to be aware. There's a need to fulfill ethical duty of safeguarding our data so that we should have routine education. Share the link. We should be doing that rather. Yes.
I want to chip in.
Yes, please go ahead.
With what you are saying.
Yes.
With what you are saying. Sometimes this our educational system, how the leaders also gives frame our curriculum. Now, for instance, the SHA students have been given tablets to access learning, but I can say that almost 95% of them do not know anything about cybersecurity. But they've given them this tablet to be using for their studies. And this case can be exposing themselves to a lot of cyber threats without them knowing that this will harm them in the future, or this will do this. We've been getting some information that some of them have been using it for their private. I think the minister also said that they have been using it for their private purposes instead of certain purpose that was intended for. So I think maybe you people, as you are leading us, also will be putting this dialogue across so that at least.
Yeah. You are right. It's a concern. Whatever is good, there are flip side of it.
So maybe when you come to.
Yeah. You are right. So long as you've given tablets, you've given information systems, you've given gadgets to people, you are exposing them. So you should do the training. The training is not just the ability to use the tablets, but the security issue, the implications, the surveillance, all those things must be part of it. So security awareness training is important. We have to fulfill all ethical duties to safeguard and the data. So the children must be taught. And for me, for children, you can even start teaching them when they are in class 1, class 2. You can teach them. We teach them how to read the Bible. We teach them how to pray. They are able to do it. So we can teach them. But are we? Is it our interest? Maybe not. So it's a wake-up call for all of us to be able to should be aware, because the way the world is going, we cannot but be part of the digital ecosystem. In fact, we are part of the digital ecosystem. So we cannot pretend, or we cannot assume. We should train them. You want your child to be a Muslim, you should train your child how to be a Muslim. You want the child to be a Christian, you should train your child how to be a Christian. And if you train the child, he will not take it. He will not leave it. Few people will leave. So the same way that we are able to achieve our religious inclination, we can now look at it from that angle also and train the children. We want to train the children and they grow up. The difficulty is that those at the top, those of my generation, how many people are doing information system? And my father's generation, they don't have anything to do information system. They don't know, they don't want it. So it will take time. I think when our generation leaves, the next generation that comes, because they came to the world with information system. When they came, it was there. All right, these Gen Z people, they already know. So we need to now veer their mind with training and all of that. But our interest here is information system security in public administration. But they are the children that will grow up to occupy the public administration. So they must know. We must start teaching them right from when they are able to talk. Okay. Any other question?
Hello, Doc.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm a freight forwarder. I work at the Kutuka Airport. So sometimes we work with the Ghana Customs. But there are some certain things I've realized that in their management system, sometimes when you go to an officer in his office, then he or she is supposed to, work for you in terms of in the system. But at times that the officer will tell you that as for this particular menu, I don't have this particular menu, so it means he cannot work on that particular service for you. Then he will ask you to go to maybe the one who is senior to him, or who is more like they are more, the rank is higher than him or her. And in that case, if you go to the person that he has asked you to go to in that office, if the person is not around, it means you have to wait till the person comes. If it is 2 hours or 3 hours, you have to wait. And sometimes when you ask the reason, they will tell you that because they work per their ranks, so there are some certain menus or platforms he has not been given a go ahead or to something, a go ahead to work on that menu. So they will ask you to go to his senior boss. And sometimes when you go, the boss is not around. You have to wait. If it's 3 hours, you have to wait. And for me, it slows down production, and it's very cumbersome. What do you think about that one?
Yes, that is the human aspect of it. If it is the system has been made in such a way that you need authorization. The flip side of it is that they are doing that to prevent junior ranks for decision making, because information system is to help you take decision. But the decision that you are taking, maybe that decision is below from their ranking. The person you went to first does not have the right to take the decision. So the authorization will come. These are measures. His absence is not a technical thing. It's not MIS. You understand? The human being is a component of the MIS. But it is not a technical thing because he's not there. If he was there, it should have been done. But they have put the system in place and say that this menu you cannot access. You cannot take this decision unless it is this person that must take the decision. And the person is not seated. So then you leave the human aspect of it, that's the human aspect of it. So probably over time, now that AI is here, as soon as you kickstart your process of clearance, import clearance, and I did my PhD at the Tema Harbor during the paperless port issue. So I understand. I've done research at the airport and harbor. So for importation and exportation with all that, what is involved, that is fine. But this critical issue, it was raised, that is a human being, it's a human error, not the institution or not the system error. And that must be done. But it will take a while. AI has come. I don't see why human beings should be allowed to do some of these things. What is left? If I haven't paid my duty, I haven't paid. The system should take the decision and give me what I should do. I don't have to even move to anybody. You have to move away. So if you pick my PhD thesis, yes, so long as the human being is there, corruption will be there. So don't bring the human being to the field at all. As soon as your system comes, you feed. As soon as your goods come, you feed the system with it, and then it will go through the process. It will charge the thing for you. The scanning machine has already done the scanning. It is real time. And then how much are you supposed to pay? You pay through the bank. You use your Momo or use your bank transaction. It goes into the system. It is done. You don't meet anybody. But, well, it will take a while. So it's been how many years? 2017? How many years going? We are in 2026. So About 10 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 10 years going? Talk to me.
Yes, Doc. Next year will be 10 years.
Next year will be 10 years. So probably we need to go, government will need to go and have a look at it again. And now for information system, you always will need to, after implementation, you need a feedback, people who have used it, people who have experienced it, how to maintain it, how to improve upon it. All of these are important. Okay, we'll be done very soon. I think we have about 20 something minutes more. Now we need to look at some concepts. We are still on security, information security when it comes to public services. And all of these are hinging on e-government, because if without e-government, we don't have to worry ourselves about information security. So the e-government and electronic government using information communication technologies by government agencies to deliver the services, because government agencies are delivering services, they are exchanging information and also streamlining internal processes. So all of these goals are important to enhance accessibility, increase government transparency, and then also foster civic engagement. So there are 5 main types of it. We have the e-government, so government to citizens, we have the government to the employee, we have government to government, and then government to business. So these government activities would also require information security, because whatever the government is doing with the citizens involves information. So how is information moving from the e-government to the citizens? So long as you are moving from a platform to another platform, there will be security issues that we have discussed. You have to have framework. Traditionally, we are looking at 4 primary dimensions based on the participating stakeholders, government to citizens, providing information, easy access of government information and services to citizens. So your licensing, your tax payment, your social security benefit, your health care, everything the government will do to help you. Then we can have government to business, streamlining interaction between public sector and commercial enterprises. Then you have business registration, procurement, bidding, and all of that, compliance and obtaining permits. So government to business. Every business needs permit to work, and it's a government that will do. Then government to government, where we have sharing information among government agencies, whether in ministries or municipalities or ministries, municipalities and agencies, all of the MDAs, district assemblies, all of this, it's from government agency to government. The government also have employees, so targeting internal government processes with employees, civil servants, public servants, human resource, and basically optimizing administrative efficiency. So internal training, very important model, payroll and interdepartmental collaborations, all of these are important. So public services would have to use these services to deliver. To have digital public service delivery systems. It will also have information security. These are together. You can't take one and not do the other. You need to have secure digital public service and ensure that such issues as data IDs and payment systems would have seamless governance, but also rely on cybersecurity, robust cybersecurity to prevent any breaches and maintain public trust. Already we say that there are zero trust when you are using the system. So the government must work to gain the public's trust. So there are several core components of it: digital identity, interoperable payments, and then data exchange. Data is being exchanged at each point in time. So the Ghana card like this will be part of it. And there are various imperatives of information security. It must be robust, not just a technical requirement, but must also have the public trust, and also the citizens must assume be responsible So data privacy, we've talked about data privacy, we talked about the Data Protection Act as well. It must be resilient such that it is not easy for people to attack or to shut down. So the ports, like our colleague said, at the airport, what is happening there, and now you have identified some lapses that need resolution immediately. So revenue services, hospital registration, protection of our identity. The citizens must know that their identity is being protected. It's the government duty to so do. So there are several security for the public, digital public services. So we have security measures, and then we have the primary objective. So when it is zero trust, it means that the access control and threats are prevented, end-to-end encryption for confidentiality and privacy protection, continuous monitoring and auditing where if there are threats, it can be detected and then it can be responded to quickly. All federated identity management also would ensure that we bring all these together, verification and privacy preservation, very important. I think we've done all this already. We've said that already. So let's see where we are. There are several real-world impacts of information security in government. And there's several countries. This country, Estonia, they are doing very well. And then Ukraine is being destroyed. But this is a country that is really using digital services to cut out bureaucratic delays and also drastically limiting the opportunity for corruption. So the corruption is really going down. In West Africa also, Ghana, we are also doing our part. There are several initiatives that we are moving towards digital public infrastructure. So there's upscaling. If we don't have the built-in data, that is going to expose us. So there's the need for government risk of losing the citizens buy-in. The citizens don't buy in, whatever we are doing, we are not going to get anywhere. Case studies abound. So e-government case studies, real-world examples of case studies that is balancing the need to expand digital public services and also maintaining the infrastructure. So these are some of the case studies. Estonia has the digital identity. They also doing e-voting. Ghana, we have still not been able to do e-voting. Robust cybersecurity issues. Singapore, they have smart nation. So everything in the country using national security strategies to do it. India and their digital India. Ghana, we have our Ghana card and cybersecurity issues. We haven't been able to sync it very well. Rwanda is also using the digital service platform. UK has done transformation program, the UK transformation program, which is also digital. South Korea, 24-hour government, 24-hour integrated services. You can't do anything in South Korea without using internet and using the government services. And of course, the United Arab Emirates with Smart Dubai initiative. All these countries are providing excellent examples. So Ghana is there providing excellent examples of how we can evaluate the relationship between information security, privacy protection, digital identity, and gain citizen trust. So that we can have successful implementation of e-business. So in conclusion, we've discussed information security. We've seen information security as a fundamental requirement for modern organizations and e-government. So we need to ensure confidentiality, integrity, availability, and then the two others are the authenticity and non-repudiation. This will create trustworthiness for information assets and digital services. Cybersecurity threats are many. The ransomware, the phishing, the insider attack, which is really, really critical because it's the human being that is doing it. The person that you think is protecting you is the one that is giving the information out. So there's data breach continue to evolve. There's a need for organizations and public institutions to adopt productive and proactive risk management strategies, ensure security controls and continuous monitoring mechanism. Data privacy, data protection, very essential. We have our laws that we have to contend with, the data protection law, and the international standard that we also have to comply with. There are legal, ethical, and regulatory requirements to safeguard personal and sensitive information. So for successful e-government, it will depend on you and I. It will depend on the integration of secured technology and also robust cybersecurity framework, effective citizen-centered, that is the UNI, citizen-centered service delivery, to ensure that governments are able to improve efficiency, transparency, accountability, and accessibility. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our discussion today. Are there any questions, any addition, subtraction? And those who are coming to, are we meeting the last time in person next week?
No,
so
next 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay, so we are going to have our I'll send the assignment to the class rep, our group assignments. So we start the group assignment this week, and next week it has to be submitted on Friday. So we are going to have a group assignment and a group presentation. How many are we? You have the groups, right? You have your groups.
Yes, Doc.
How many in a group? How many in a group? How many are you in a
maximum five? Maximum 5.
So we have some groups last semester, so I don't know if we can maintain them.
How many in a group? How many in a group?
But about 7.
How many are you in the class? How many in the, what's the class size?
Our batch is around 24.
24. Next 24, you are 7. That is only about 3 groups. No, you can't have 3 groups. That's too less.
The maximum is 5.
For the January intake, the maximum is 5. The January intake, the maximum is 5.
We are only 10.
We are 10 in class.
Yeah, we are 10, so we have 2 groups already.
Yeah.
5 in a group. A lot of people will not work. I was looking at 3 in a group.
Yes.
I was looking at 3 in a group. So if you can form 3 in a group. 3 in a group. If you are 24, that'll be 7 in a group. So that the presentation will be, everybody will have to speak on the presentation. It will be recorded as well. So I'm not sure if you have somebody who the school media, they don't work on Saturday. So if you want them to work, it means you have to arrange for it. And we are going to do it at the main campus at the Florence Oni Auditorium. So the class rep will have to arrange and book the Florence Oni Auditorium. Let's book it now so that we have a space for it on Saturday. Next 2 weeks Saturday. So we meet next week. So you have 2 weeks to do the assignment. It's a group assignment. I'll send you you're going to do a Word document, and then out of the Word document, we are going to have what do you call it? PowerPoint presentation. Everybody will have to talk. So if it is 15 minutes and you are 3 in a group, on the average, everybody will have to speak for 5 minutes. Because if it's 15 minutes and you are 24, it's 7. So 15 times 7 will be how many? 35 and 3 and 105 minutes. 105 minutes will be, so about 120 minutes. Because changing from one group to the other will also take some 2 minutes here and there. So 120 minutes, that is 2 hours. So let's 2 hours presentation. And then we'll wrap up what we have done. We'll discuss our examination. I don't have the examination timetable, but we'll do how my expectation will be for the examination. So for our classwork, those who don't come to class early, you will not get. We have 40% for classwork and 60% for the main examination. So the 40% include the assignment you've done, the individual assignment you have done, and then we have the group assignment and presentation. So the individual assignment, the group assignment and presentation will be 20%. The individual assignment is 10%, and then your presentation, you're coming to class and not telling me that your network is that and your network is that. And some people don't come. So if you don't come, you don't get a 10. If you have not come before, you won't get the 10 marks. It is zeros and ones. All right, machine language. So you take all the 10 or you take nothing. So those who are always here, they get all the 10. If you have absented yourself, you need to prove to me for me to accept. You need to give me a reason why you should also partake in the communion. If you're a Catholic and you go to Catholic church, you can stay there the whole night. You won't get the communion. So if you want the communion and you know you have accepted you have ever absented yourself, you need to prove that you have to be given the communion. Otherwise, you lose the 10 marks. So you have 30 marks from there. And your assignment must be presented. Then you have 10 marks. Then we have group presentation and assignment also 10 marks. Any question, any addition, subtraction?
Yeah, Doc.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking like you consider the 3. Why don't we maintain the 5? And if you just extend the time for the presentation so that we can share among ourselves. We've been used to the 5 for all this while. I don't know. Just my suggestion. I thought the 5, if we maintain it, is good. Just extend the number of times for the
presentation time.
Yes, I think that will be the same result.
Because those of us who are at Takrade, we used to meet at CCTU campus for every group assignment they give us to deliberate on it.
Oh, but you online. Why should you travel?
No, we are at Takrade, so whenever
but
the
you
group
can
assignment,
if you create a Zoom account or something, you can still do it. You can even use Google Meet.
The engagement and the participation is
better
key.
comprehension.
Exactly.
For better comprehension.
You want to tell me that this discussion we've been having for all these 4 weeks didn't come with better comprehension?
I don't
but then for participation, sometimes when you are outstation and then you need to join online, the participation isn't really it's not really full.
So you want
the guys in Accra, they can beat up on campus and all
maintain
of that.
Maintain the 5.
Yeah, so the 5 is cool.
You this group, I don't know. We started saying that every week we should have assignment. You say no. You want only 2 assignments. We're giving you only 1 assignment for the whole semester. Only 1 individual assignment for the whole semester. And this one too, you are pushing to. You want always
we want to deliver. We want to deliver.
Doc, right now we are all learning negotiation skills. So very soon you see us negotiating for the presidency.
We want to deliver.
Let me think about it. Let's see next week when we meet. We'll look at it.
That's all right. That's all right.
No, the decision must come so that because we are going to start the assignment now. You understand? It is not necessary. The assignment must be started now. You have 2 weeks to do good work and do the presentation as well. For next 2 weeks when we meet face to face. So next week is our last online meeting, and then we shall have face-to-face meeting where you do the presentation. So you have 2 weeks to do it, because I want you to do a good job. It's going to be recorded because I cannot be giving you marks during the presentation. So it will be recorded, and then I'll take my time and see how you did the presentation so that we can give the marks, and that marks is 20%. Before we do the final examination, which is 60%. So 60% also we have 5 questions. Question 1 is compulsory, and then you have question 2 to 5. You are picking 2, so compulsory plus 2. So you are writing 3 questions.
Can we negotiate with the answers question 2?
Look at you.
Okay,
All right.
Doc.
There are no more. Can somebody propose for the closure of the class?
But Doc,
Sir, the
are we
slides, I
concluding?
mean,
Are we
the
concluding
slides,
on the
sir, the
groups?
slides are not on LMS.
I
Today's
don't know why
presentation.
they are not there. I'll try again. I think the LMS. I'll try again. I've uploaded I've uploaded. I don't know why you are not seeing. Let me try it again here.
Okay.
Peter Osasibe, you never said the word the whole time you've been here.
Hello, Doc. I'm around.
But it's not your being around. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. In the
Sure,
absence
Doc.
of any further discussion, contributions, or questions, Peter Osasibe, can you kindly move for the closure of the class?
In the absence of any addition, subtraction, or presentation, I, Peter Osesibe, move this lecture to a close.
Propose for the closure.
I propose for the closure. I propose for the closure of today's lecture.
Okay. No. Would you ask somebody to second your motion?
AB second.
All right. Thank you very much. See you next week. And please see you next week on time. It is 2 o'clock, not 2:05. Please.
Okay.
Let's show some difference. The country, the way we are doing things, it's hard, though. Yo. Bye-bye.
We are grateful. Bye. We are grateful for maintaining the fight. Thank you.